All right. Aloha. And thank you, everyone, so much for joining in for another one of our spiritual seekers support circles here through the Paradigm Shift Central community. My name is Brendon, aka Mystic Spider-Man, and joined here once again with some fellow amazing conscious creators and spiritual seekers who I'll bring up on camera as we get things rolling here. So, guys, feel free to just kind of like say hello and wave to the camera as we get things started here. And of course, we've got a beautiful community, a beautiful circle to be able to start things off, to be able to drop into our heart space, to be able to help support each other on this ever unfolding mystery and this journey of life. So far within the circle, we've got Kyle, we've got Eloise, we've got Candice, we've got Silomon, we've got Alicia, and we've also got Tree. And there's going to be some more people joining in as we go. For those of you on the YouTube chat, thank you so much for being here. You guys will still be able to interact with tonight's community event, whether you're in the circle or whether you're listening to this on YouTube, whether you're listening to this in the future. What you're going to be able to experience tonight is going to be us guiding you through a series of question prompts designed to be able to bring us back to the heart space, to help kind of like reflect on parts of ourselves that maybe we don't always get a chance to be able to talk about and reflect on. And then through that, also arrive into some discussion together as a community to be able to be vulnerable as we need to, and also being able to focus on inspiration as we move forward into the future. Later in the broadcast, we'll go into a little bit of a guided meditation, which will be for the same purpose. I'll walk you through the question prompts as we go through them. It'll be a little bit of a surprise. And yeah, this will be, again, just an awesome opportunity for us to be able to be here as community. And other than that, some basic info. Of course, this is a part of the Paradigm Shift Central community. If you guys are brand new to this, check out paradigmshiftcentral.com, check out our Paradigm Shift Central Discord server, check out our Patreon if you would like to be able to join in for future events that we host on air, such as this one and many more. And you can join Patreon at the monthly $11 membership or whatever level you choose. Thank you again to our Patreon supporters. You guys help make this possible. And of course, a special note letting you guys know that there's a lot more stuff happening within the community that we are moving into on the new Ibble app. You'll hear me mentioning that essentially every broadcast, just as a quick reminder and gentle plug. The link for the Ibble app is in the information for this video as well as in the link for my profile on Instagram and TikTok. Through there, you'll find some ongoing inspirational conscious discussions that myself and other conscious creators in the community are hosting in the same genre of tonight's circle, which are in the format of 60-second videos where people can reply with their own 60-second audio or video clips to create ongoing discussions and threads that transcend space and time. So check out the Ibble app if you haven't already yet. It's only available in the region of the US and some parts of Canada, and we would love to be able to see you there, and you can follow myself and the other conscious creators. So again, the link is in the info for this video. And yeah, we'll be continuing along with the same style and the same styles of discussion that we're doing here tonight in the Ibble app as well. So with that said, we'll get into a little bit of meditation, just be able to practice dropping into our heart space. And then from there, we'll start with the first question prompt, and then we'll get right into the discussion as we go around. You guys will get a chance to introduce yourself, and we'll just kind of go with the flow, and we'll keep the broadcast within a 2-hour limit, I would say today, or possibly 5 hours, 2 hours or 5 hours, one or the other. That's how we roll here in Paradigm Shift Central. For those of you on TikTok and Instagram, click the link in my profile if you guys want to tune in on YouTube. Thank you again to those of you on the YouTube chat for keeping it active there. And feel free to screenshot at any point if you guys would like to be able to share this with your friends or send them the link directly. And also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe on Spotify at Paradigm Shift Radio, where you can check out over 9,000 episodes going back to 2012. So, all right, with that said, let's just get into a quick little meditation and inviting everyone to just get nice and comfortable. This will just be a real quick meditation. Normally, we do our broadcast starting with this just to drop us into our heart space. Okie dokie. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. When you're ready, just go ahead and take a moment here to just close your eyes. And as you close your eyes here and connect with your breath, just allow yourself to just kind of like feel already within this moment how much just this brief opportunity where we just close our eyes may feel just like already very welcoming to you, very soft, very gentle, almost like that feeling where you get underneath the blankets in a bed and it's like cozy and warm. And so what is that? That's actually us just arriving into the primordial space of stillness, of softness. So just breathe here and just allow yourself to be in this space of softness, and we'll carry this with us throughout tonight's discussion. It'll be a very soft and flowy discussion, and that softness will help open us up, open up our heart space, open us up into hearing more of the messages within our own heart, within our own soul. So as we breathe here, just taking this opportunity, and you can put your hands on your chest if you wish, just allowing yourself to be able to arrive into this moment of gratitude. Gratitude for yourself, gratitude for this space, gratitude for this community. And you can just imagine all of us here sitting in this circle, sharing this space together, even though it's digitally, metaphysically, we are all energetically in the presence of one another. And as we are here, just taking this moment to just look around at all the faces and reminding ourselves of the intention of this circle. Here we are on this spiritual journey. This is a journey with its yin and its yang, its ups and its downs, its lefts and its right, its light and its shadow. And this is a journey that was never meant to be something that we walk alone. We will walk alone at times, and even in those moments, we realize we're truly alone. But in those moments that we share together, those are the moments that will continue to really blossom within our heart. So let us invite in this moment right here that we get to share to support each other on this path, so that we can cultivate this inspiration, cultivate this clarity, to remove some of the dust from the lens of our heart, so we can continue to shine our light out into the world. And whatever happens here within this circle, may it continue to support and nurture our spirit on the journeys still ahead. By the time you are done this event today, may you leave it feeling a little bit more inspired, a little bit more aligned, a little bit more hopeful, a little bit more clear, a little bit more motivated, a little bit more love. And so just take a moment here as you look around this circle, and just feel the energy of the other people here as you just express your love for them. And just allow yourself to just be in this moment of oneness. I'll just stop talking just for a little bit and just allow yourself to be in the stillness of silence and listen to what the silence says to you. Just go ahead and be here now. Gently, as you breathe here, before we conclude this part of the meditation, allow yourself to be able to reflect on a message you'd like to share with all the people here, from your heart to theirs, something that we do on the regular here, but today is a different day. Therefore, the message is whatever it needs to be. What does your heart want to say to all the people here? Something to nurture their heart and nurture their spirit. Allow that message to arise. Beautiful. And just allow yourself to receive the kindness of the message shared from everyone here. And we'll carry this vibration with us throughout the discussion tonight. Carry this softness, carry this openness, carry this courage, carry this love. And we'll gently, when you're ready, slowly begin to bring our awareness back to our physical body as we continue to hold this image in our mind of all of us just hanging out in this beautiful circle here together. When you are ready, you can slowly wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and gently open your eyes and return your awareness to the space around you. Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you again, everyone, for joining in. If you guys want to share in the comments what your message was for the community, please, by all means, go ahead and do that, or even just in 1 or 2 words, how is everybody feeling? Definitely feeling, I hope you guys are just kind of feeling like my own flow kind of going into this. That was just very smooth for me. And I hope that that wateriness from my presence as a facilitator just kind of naturally just helps you move into that watery space within your own energy field today. So if anybody wants to share in the comments just how they're feeling, please go ahead and do that. And yeah, we'll move into some question prompts. And then we'll go into some discussion as we continue to move through this event here together. So allow me to just find my document that I had open here a second ago. Where did that document go? Somewhere here. Anyways, so again, so for the way that we are going to do this here tonight, we are going to move through a series of question prompts, and any of the comments in the chat, I'll read those here in a second. And if I can find that document that I was looking for, then I'll have the questions that I was looking for. Where'd that go? I have so many Somebody's, there it is. Is that it? That's what I was looking for. Perfect. Okay. All right, we're good. So reading some of the comments in the chat just before we move into this. Feeling like a smooth latte, says Silamon. Thank you, Silamon. Eris says, my message was, you are free. Pack your bags if need be. Ooh, very interesting, Eris. Thank you. Jennifer says, my message for the community was kindness counts. I love that. I love that. Thank you again, Luna. Thank you. Luna is feeling hungry. Hungry for shifting paradigms. Pinnock says, feeling peaceful, message to the collective. We are love for the divine uniqueness we are. May we continue to shine. Beautiful, beautiful. And let me just check the Zoom if there are any comments there. Awesome. All right. Welcome to Luna. Luna is also in the Zoom chat. So let's keep things rolling here. Okay. So what we'll do here, everybody's here. Everybody is ready to be able to move into this next part of the event. I'll ask you guys some specific questions. We're going to go through 3 questions. With each question, you guys will get to raise your hand. If you want to share, you can share. Share from your heart, share from a place of vulnerability, share from a place of truth. And then after each person shares, we'll also open it up if somebody else wants to be able to reply. And maybe someone will say something, you'll say like, oh, that really resonates with me. Or maybe, oh, I have some insight that can reflect what it is that they were looking at, or any sort of support that you want to be able to offer one another. And then as we move through those 3 prompts, then we'll go into a little bit of a special guided meditation within the end. So again, the whole intention here is for us to just be able to look into the places within our own heart and to be able to help nurture that energy as well. So if you guys are ready within the chat, go ahead and drop an 1111 in the chat. I'm excited to just be able to hear from all the other creators here. And yeah, with that said, just inviting you guys, I should have said this earlier, grab a pen and paper or grab a notepad, grab whatever you can that you can use to take some notes. I'll ask you the question. And then as we do that, we'll move into a little bit of a place of silence. And then out of that, we will move back into discussion. So with each question, we'll create at least about like 30 or 40 seconds for you to be able to reflect on the question. The question, the the questions are always so powerful. And we oftentimes don't ask ourselves these type of questions. So that's why you coming to this space can be very productive for all of us. Seeing those 1111s in the chat, you guys are ready. Let's get right into this. All right. So if you've got a pen and paper with you or a notepad on your computer, that's great. If you don't, that's fine. Either way, just kind of as you reflect on this answer, do it as a meditation and practice listening to your heart, not necessarily thinking too hard, but listening to your heart. So with that said, here is the first question tonight for our Spiritual Seekers Support Circle. So just allow yourself to just kind of like be open to receive as I ask this. The first question that we have, the first question prompt: where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? Where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? So take a moment here to just be able to reflect. I'll just repeat the question one more time, and then we'll go into a little bit of silence, and then I'll bring us back. And then from there, if you would like to share, we're welcome to share. Where do you currently feel, keywords, where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? So for everybody here, I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to write some notes down as well, and I'm going to mute myself. So allow yourself to just take a moment here within your own silence and listen to what arises within the heart. We'll come back in a bit. Continue here about 15 more seconds, and then we'll come back. Okay. All right. So So thank you again, everyone, for joining. And for those of you in the YouTube chat, please as well, by all means, go ahead and share your comments, share your reflections, share your notes in the chat as well. Again, there'll be kind of the discussion here in the Zoom and then also the discussion on the YouTube chat as well. Welcome to Kristen, Spiral Soul Seed, for joining in. I'll make sure she gets connected here, and I'll probably have to repeat the prompt here in a second for her as well. So again, prompts.
I'll start.
Candace, yeah, I'll just repeat the prompt just for anybody who missed it. So the prompt, again, the question was, where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? So Candace, if you would like to start, please, by all means, go right ahead, and welcome Kristen as well. Go ahead, Candace.
Where I feel spirit is most strongest is in my feet and in my crown, in both places. And a lot of the time spirit like just goes through my whole body, but it either starts on the crown and then the feet, like, because it's very, my spirit's very much loves being connected to the earth, you know? So that's what that's what it's like for me.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Candace. And already, I can honestly, that's very interesting, Candace's response. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who sort of thought so. Even when I wrote this question, it's very unique that Candace responded in that way. And Candace, I'll give you a chance to add more to your answer as we go, because when I wrote this question, I wrote it, where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? I wasn't thinking of it as where do you feel it within your body. That wasn't on my mind. But the fact that Candace heard it that way makes me think of it now. And I'm like, oh, that's actually another layer to this question that I think we can actually explore. Obviously, the question was kind of written in the way where it's like, oh, I feel most strongest when I'm in nature, when I'm doing things I love, when I'm making art and some of that, which I'm sure we'll get into, and that's also part of it. Candace, thank you again for that response. Candace, if you want to even just like add on to your response from the the things you like to do, then please, by all means, we'll pass it around.
Yeah, and the thing is with me, majority of the time, I'm always in wheelchair, right? So I literally have to, like, I'm always in tune with my brain, right? So that's why it's what I said is so prevalent, strong, because in order for me to go out anywhere, I need assistance, right? And I find honestly, I find that when I ask for assistance and have someone take me out in the nature, it kind of at times it defeats the purpose, because I'm always dealing with people that aren't on the same energy frequency or level, so their mindset is like work mode, right? And like me, I just want to experience and take in nature, but I sort of get sidetracked because I have to play two roles a lot of the time, so I kind of get like, it's easy for me to get sidetracked.
Well, Candace, thank you again for your response, and again, I'm sure even just what you were saying there is helping spark some ideas in some more minds as well. So awesome, Candace. So we'll pass over to someone else. Is that, you're good with that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Candace. All right. So again, I'll just reiterate the question, and there are a couple of people that are just joining in as we go. So the question was, the first question, there'll be two more after this. Where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? Now, notice the keyword currently. Maybe a month ago, it might have been a different answer. So where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest, most obvious? I'll share a little bit later. Who wants to be able to go next? We'll pass it over to whoever would like to go next. And as you go, we'll let you just introduce yourself. Luna, yes, we can pass it over to you. So Luna, welcome. And when you're ready, go right ahead, Luna.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
All good.
Yeah, okay. I wrote down 4 things. I also wrote down places in my body, and I also wrote down activities. So I wrote the both down. I wrote in my heart and in my inner ear, because I speak with spirit all day, and I hear the voice inside. And in my heart, that's just where I felt it when I sat with the question. Since I do Reiki and I'm also getting more in touch with my body, that's what I felt. And the strongest connection I feel when I'm reading tarot for myself and when I'm in meditation, both of those. Tarot really helps guide me, because we have our intuition, obviously, that it's our guidance system, but sometimes our thoughts will get in the way, and you're just like, am I tripping, or is it like really my intuition? And so the cards really confirm for me what I'm already thinking, and so that really helps guide me, help the relationship between me and my intuition get really strong. And meditation, just I love meditation so much. Like, it just does so much for my mental health, for my physical health. I've been able to heal, trauma, abuse, and these mental constructs and limits that I used to put on myself, and things that I'm still obviously going through. But meditation is really the means that I use to heal the most, and healing happens when spirit is there. So that's my strongest one.
Wonderful. Thank you, Luna. Does anybody want to reply to anything Luna said? Maybe if it was something where you're just like, oh, that relates, but you can also incorporate it into your own response as well. So if not, we'll just keep the talking stick going around, and even as we do share, it all kind of creates one big discussion here as well. So Luna, very relatable. Thank you again, and again, for everybody here, this is all just practice. So practicing sharing from our heart, and yeah, giving us all something to kind of, we see ourselves within each other. So and again, through the discussions here, I hope that the exploration of the question gives you the chance to be like, oh yeah, like that is something that is true to me. So let's keep passing the talking stick around. Who would like to be able to go next? And then I'll go a little bit later. Silaman, we'll pass over to you, and then Eloise, we'll pass it over to you after that. So Silaman, welcome. And again, the question being, where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? Go ahead, Silaman, welcome. Oh, double check mic. Okay. Oh, yeah, now we can.
All good. We have like multiple XLR cables, so
got the pro setup. Yeah.
try it. I wrote down in my sacral, in my heart, in my third eye, because we're all sharing the like the body. That's the 3 locations that I think I feel most connected with spirit. I also wrote when I'm meditating and I can find a little bit of space in between all the thoughts and all the distractions, because I feel like I get very distracted like very easily. And I loved what Luna said about meditation is like a good way to get connected to spirit, because it can like help you to let go of those distractions. Not always for me, but it helps more often than not. Um, when I get into a good flow with writing, because I like to write stories, and I also like to write guided meditations, and then I like put them on my YouTube channel, and did one with Shannon recently. That was pretty nice. Another one was I also, since I've been a kid, like sharing my voice for some reason it's always been like difficult for me. And I know a lot of other people experience that. So I've tried to find ways to help others share their voice, to like give them a platform. So we've been helping people with different podcasts, and we have an event coming up on 2/22 that we're going to do with multiple people. Some are actually from this community as well. And it's just about, experiencing what we are right now, like a lot of chaos, a lot of darkness and shadow work. But like there are a lot of others who are there to help us, to like basically hold our hand as we traverse the shadow aspect of life. And so that I'm really excited about. And it's just amazing to like hear everybody's perspective. And I think everybody has something to share, something worthy to share. I think everybody has divinity and a divine connection with spirit within them. And so it's beautiful, a beautiful thing to see like people awaken and like really fully connect with their true selves. So that is something that I feel very connected to with spirit on. So it's a blessing for everybody to be here. Thank you all for being here, and your smiles and your love is all very appreciated. And I'm excited to hear what everybody else has to say.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Suleiman. And again, quick plug for what Suleiman was mentioning with their festival online event coming up. You'll be hearing more about it, but be sure to follow Suleiman on Instagram. I'll post their link into the chat, and also the Bring Me to Life network on Instagram. And Seal, I'll touch base with you on that. I want to be able to help out as much as I can with that. So it's awesome to have more of those spaces. Awesome. Cool. All right. We'll pass it over to Eloise, and then who wants to go after Eloise? And we'll pass it over to Chris. Alicia, did you have your hand up too? We'll pass it over. No? Okay, we'll pass it over to Alicia. So Eloise, and then Alicia, and then whoever else after that. And there's no expectations. If you guys don't feel like sharing right now, that's fine. And again, and I just appreciate everybody listening as well. And after Kristen, I'll share a little bit of my own response. So with that said, we'll pass it over to Eloise. Eloise, when you're ready, welcome and go right ahead. Where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest, more obvious?
Hi, so great to see everybody tonight. And I'll just start with also in the body. I immediately felt like in the heart space, and then I get these like spine shivers, like they'll start like in my crown, go down, and I'll like literally shake. Like lately it's been like so intense that I'll literally shake, and I'll kind of be like, it's almost like it tickles, like it's like, ooh, like what's up? And so like that's like how I experience it in my body lately. And then a lot I thought about with like numbers recently, and just other synchronicities. So if I'm like paying attention, I can see like when spirit is like bringing things to me that I need, that, you know, I haven't like necessarily gone out and searched for, but like are coming to me. And so just like those synchronicities. And then at home, like literally just like talk aloud to the spirit sometimes. And have conversations with them. And it's like different time periods, like there's different ones around. So like sometimes it's like different ancestors or different family members who have passed, or sometimes it's like my divine masculine energy, and then sometimes it's just random energy. I don't know, really know. I'm still kind of like learning who they all are. And right before sleep while lying in bed also is one where I'll like have a lot of like realizations, or like I think like spirit, where I feel like spirit is helping me like put puzzle pieces together. So I really feel it like, I guess, in those like almost like liminal spaces of the day when you're like awake, but you're not like focused on like the present moment, but also you're in the present moment. It's like, but you're not like focused on it somehow. Um, so and that's what, and then also last I'll say like my pets, like when I'm feeling down or something, or when my energy shifts, like they sense that and they'll like come like seek me out, or like when they're having even like some kind of energy shift, or they notice spirits around, like they'll be like interacting with the spirits in my house. Sometimes my cat will like play with some of the spirits in my house. So yeah, that's it for me. But yeah, love to hear what everyone else has to say. And I'm so happy to be here tonight. I was like, honestly, I had to go off camera because I was like really emotional during the meditation, Brendon. And so I'm really happy to be here tonight with everyone and feel some connection. Much gratitude.
Much gratitude. Thank you, Eloise. We're happy to be able to have you here. And yeah, definitely. I'm always grateful to be able to have everybody here, and just this very like soft, gentle, nurturing energy that we're creating together. And Lauren brought the incense as well. So thank you, Lauren, for bringing the incense. Can I smell the incense? If I connect with spirit non-locally, I can smell that incense. So, all right. Again, it's really beautiful listening to everyone's conversation, everyone's responses to this question, because I create the questions with the intention of it being very subjective. And my brain works one way, but then your brain works another way. So then you're going to say things that I didn't even think about. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh, that answer is actually true to me as well. So we're kind of like creating this like kind of like kaleidoscopic like expansion of this answer where all of our answers actually become like this like shared bigger answer that we can all relate through. So we'll pass over to Kristen, Spiral Soul Seed, and I'll go after her, and then anybody else who would like to go after that, that's totally fine. So Kristen, welcome. Where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? Welcome back.
Well, with the body aspect of the question, I felt really like in the heart and in my head, like just everywhere over the head. And I just feel like when I'm connected to spirit, it's just that these aspects are in harmony, like the brain and mind are kind of working on the like synchronized path instead of being in two different worlds. And that's, yeah, kind of when I feel most spiritual. And yeah, it kind of, you get into that kind of where you feel like you're channeling state, and it doesn't really matter what you're doing. It's just like that's synchronized, like will and thought and heart stuff all coming together. But where I'm noticing that the most at the moment is when I'm talking and when I'm singing. So I write music and play guitar and sing. So I'm getting a lot of that like synchronized connection coming through when I'm singing lately. But also just in deep chats about stuff that matters and like real emotional depth searching and sweeping off whatever's there that's kind of cluttering the like innate power and innocence that we have. When I'm having conversations like that with people I know, I feel very connected and like we're tapping on something really real and important and something that's kind of universal, because part of my area of focus with the work I do with the healing and everything is emotionally focused. And I'm getting a lot of just confidence and like substance with just talking to people at greater and greater depths. And when other people are also comfortable to talk at depth, I feel like we're both kind of channeling something really universal when we're talking about it. So yeah, it probably used to be like working with crystals and meditation, and I still do feel very connected to spirit when I'm doing those things. But where it's kind of pushed me is to get that kind of depth and spiritual connection in conversation with other people, both verbally and just energetically in conversation with people, just being in a shared space, whether it be a friend or like someone that has gotten a tarot reading for me, or in a healing session, because that kind of permission has been granted to really just let spirit flow through in service of those moments. So yeah, I'm really connected to tarot and healing and crystals and those kind of things. So they always kind of bring it out. And yeah, the singing is kind of a new passion. And I just feel, yeah, really a lot of like vibrancy coming from the voice at the moment, the singing and talking and just being in conversation, relating with people through an external expression is, yeah, really hitting me in those spirit fields lately. So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Kristen. That's a beautiful answer. I'll share next, but before we do that, did anyone want to be able to reply? I know Alicia had their hand up and I saw some comments in the chat. Luna just echoing like the music. I know we got a couple of musicians in here, so I can definitely attest to people being able to relate to that. So yeah, if a couple people want to reply, just short and sweet, and then we'll keep things moving along. Alicia or Kyle, you guys both got your hands up. If either of you want to reply to Kristen, go for it. If there's just something that maybe came to mind that you want to share in discussion style. Kyle, did you want to share in response to that, or is that, yeah, Alicia, go for it, either or, unless you guys are waiting for the next response for the question. If you guys want to reply to Kristen, go for it.
Next. That's for the next.
Okay. Alicia, did you have a response for Kristen?
Oh, just thank you for sharing. I very much, that was kind of my answer too. That where am I feeling most connected is through the channel of my voice, and using the power of, of our voice has become part of my morning routine of just using toning, just making tones and primal noises, and even whistling, where it's like, it doesn't even sound like me. It sounds like I keep a microphone in my living room for whenever I feel like, whatever wants to come out singing or making weird noises or whatever. But like, even when I'm not on the microphone, like my voice sounds so amplified sometimes, right? Or I can hear my ancestors and just like the craziest stuff coming through, which is really helping me connect with my body and and get into that, feel like that's where I'm feeling most connected, or how I am connecting most recently, through mantra singing or freestyling or just toning, just making noises. It's such a beautiful way to connect. Also through dance, and seeing what comes through, and trying to, today I did a lot of like tribal dancing and just stomping around my house. And yeah, so this really helps me stay out of my head space too, right? I find it most effective. I try to, it is my most effective way of like meditation, I suppose, if you're looking at it in terms of like getting out of your, your mental thoughts and getting into your body. And that's what's been connecting me to source mostly lately. But thank you, all my spiritual gangsters that are here. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Alicia. Alicia, just while I have your attention, are you just on TikTok or are you on Instagram as well? Because I keep forgetting whether or not you got the Instagram, and I just want to make sure I'm putting that in the chat.
It's so funny. Like, I joined this group and you asked me twice for my Instagram. I was like, shit, I gotta get Instagram.
Did you have one yet?
So like, I made an account, right?
Okay,
like,
you do have one.
Like a couple days after signing up with this community, I was like, I gotta get on Instagram.
Cool.
But I'm not active on there. But
okay.
Yeah, I really love YouTube. I'm not sharing too much content right now. I am trying to work on my public speaking and get away from just making entertaining videos, and more so just like, what is my truth? What is my experience? So that's where I'm challenging myself most recently.
Nice. Well, just put your link for your whatever social medias you want in the chat. And for everybody here, I've already got your Instas. So if there's anything else you want me to add to the show notes, just let me know. But Alicia, thank you for your response as well. And again, thank you everyone so far who shared. I'll share a little bit next, unless Alicia, was there anything else, or is that cool? We'll pass it around. That's cool. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right. So I'll share a little bit next, and I'll just let everyone know, like, again, like the questions that we have here, like, if you were here for the previous spiritual seeker support circle that we did, like, there's a journey that you get to experience by going along with these question prompts. Each question prompt leads into the next. You won't know what that is until we get there. So we're going to get there when we get there. I'll share, and then anybody who else wants to go after me, I think Kyle will go after me, and then we'll figure out the order after that, and then we'll get into the next question. So we're keeping pace. So again, the question, where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest, most obvious? Reflecting on this, answering with the body question, again, this wasn't my first thought. Even when I wrote this, I wasn't writing this with the intention of it being about the physical body. When I do think about that, I would say for me, I feel it very much in my heart space. And for me, that feels like just very much what I'm feeling now, which is very much just kind of like this intuitive flow of softness where I'm just kind of like present and moving along like water, and things are kind of happening through me without me having to think too much about it. And I'm just very much like the observer, but also the action in itself as well. And with that, I would say the throat. The throat for me is very much a place where I feel a lot of spirit as well. And that's obviously, again, what I'm kind of what you see me guys doing a lot, which is babbling on and doing, facilitating space and being here and talking to you guys or doing flowetry and things like that. But other than that, my response to this, and I'll just share real quick and I'll keep this circle going. I feel again, my connection with spirit is strongest and most obvious when I am serving community. And I know that's very broad, but when I'm helping others, when I'm facilitating space, when I'm creating environments for these discussions to arise, when I'm helping others grow, these are just some of the notes that I wrote, making others laugh. Like that's like a thing that I love to be able to do, just like making others smile, making others laugh. So very much like kind of like this like Buddha nature where I feel most connected with spirit when, and I'm thinking about this as I'm saying it, when I see the spirit of others kind of ignite, and then I see it reflected back. So the awareness of spirit becomes more prominent to me when I am seeing it in others, and then in that I kind of like feel that connection, because I feel the intimate connection between myself and others. So being with loved ones, being with family, being with tribe, I think that's probably a lot to do with like my Cancerian energies and everything like that, and this watery energy. And it's really cool because even just as I'm talking about this, I'm starting to really feel into my future, which at this point, for those of you who have been with me for this journey over the past several months, with the child that's on the way, this is a very exciting time for myself, but I'm sure even for you guys are probably excited for me. And then yes, I'm like almost on the edge of tears as I'm saying this, because I'm just like, oh shit, because like this is like real emotion that's arising, where for me, I'm imagining me feeling my connection with spirit in the presence of holding my son. And like literally, like I've thought about this, I meditated on that moment where like I can like feel him on my chest, and I can feel his like longing for my love, like he wouldn't verbally express it, but he would just be like, give me love, please, like dad, please give me love. And then I would be responding to that and like holding him next to my chest. And I feel that he's like a very watery child as well. And you guys, oh man, just wait till you find out the name. But anyways, so being with loved ones, being with others, being in nature is obviously something that for me really connects me with spirit, being in the natural elements, being with trees, being anywhere outside. And then also within my dream practice. I'm not sure if anyone has explicitly mentioned this so far, but I'm sure we can all relate to it. Within my dream practice, when I'm showing up for my dream practice, when I'm remembering my dreams, when I'm talking to Lacey about dreams. Just the other example, the other night, Lacey had this dream, and the dream included both of us. And this is a short story of it. It was like in some sort of like post-apocalyptic world, like friggin' like 80% of the dreams these days are like post-apocalyptic worlds for many of us, I'm sure. But anyways, Lacey and I were like living in some ghetto or something. And then from the balcony, we could see this huge tree, this like Methuselah level tree. And then we left like kind of like the city side that we were in, and we went into kind of like this wasteland area, and we were making our way towards a tree. And like, this is like, it's like the guardian tree, but like times like 20. It's like imagine like a tree, like almost as big as you can imagine. So big that the roots were like rolling through the landscape like waves. So you would literally like climb up a root, like it's that big, right? And then eventually we made it up to the tree, and there was like a little crevice within the roots. And then basically her and I kind of like laid down there with each other, and it kind of like held us almost like a little like cocoon, and we were like looking up at the stars. Now for me, that wasn't my dream, but when Lacey tells me about it, I experience it as if I'm recalling it like a memory. like I'm hearing it like a story, but then I'm like, oh, like a part of me was there, and she actually kind of like reactivates it within me. So for me, having those discussions with Dream, and especially when Lacey's talking to me about dreams, it's really beautiful, because it's kind of like I'm like finding parts of myself through her dream practice, and then also through my own dream practice. Then I would also say, again, some of the stuff that's already been said tonight: vocal practices, flowetry, singing, playing hockey, skating, figure skating. Man, when I'm figure skating, I'm like, it's so trippy, because I get to observe it like a meditative space, especially when the outdoor rink is busy and there's a lot of people. I get into like 100% flow state, where I'm just in this present moment and I'm observing my body purely as spirit, where it's just like weaving in and out of people. I'm not thinking, oh, I gotta deke people out, but it's just like, and I pull off like the craziest stuff, where I'm just like, if I do it like a second later, I would have run into someone, right? But I'm always in this place of trust, and I'm always just kind of going in and out of people, no matter how busy it is, and I just feel it, and I get to experience that. So that physical activity, dance, things of that nature, which evoke flow, Jedi training and stuff like that. And then the other thing I'll just say here, but obviously I'm sure there's more if I were to meditate on it even longer. Obviously, yeah, meditation, that's a great one. But listening, when I am listening, and I think this is a very important one for us to be able to reflect on, because even here within this conversation, we're eager to talk, we're eager to share, we're eager to express, but it's equally as important for us to be able to listen. And right now, as we are listening, this is us developing a connection with spirit. Do you see spirit within me talking back to you? Maybe there's something I'm going to say or someone else is going to say that's going to kind of like nurture something inside of your heart, or even what Eloise was saying, maybe it's going to kind of like activate the activation sensations. Those activation sensations, those are so powerful, and that's what I call them, activation sensations. I think it's like a band name or something right there. But anyways, or truth bumps. Truth bumps is another one, right? When you like hear something that really resonates with you, and you're like, oh, and like you feel that. So yeah, those are some of my answers. And again, even within this, and we'll pass it around, it's interesting because obviously all of us here within this circle, we're quite familiar with the metaphysical, spiritual discussions and topics, but there's a question within this question where, it's where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or more obvious? But then again, there's a question within this where it's just kind of like what is connection with spirit? Like what is spirit? What does that mean? Right. So, like spirit, and this is, a topic that we'll talk about this on Ibble, I'm sure. Spirit is like the presence of like the ethereal energy that exists through all of us. That is like this like wave of love and light, or something like that. I'm like trying to put it into words, right? It's kind of beyond words. But again, spirit is kind of like this part of us that is it's the ocean within the drop. It's the feeling of connection, it's the feeling of expansion, it's the feeling of something bigger than just this present moment. It's an opening, it's a breath expanding. So yeah, this is a super beautiful conversation. I'm listening to myself even as I'm saying it, and I'm excited to listen to what you have to share as well. And thank you again to those of you in the YouTube chat for sharing your responses in there as well. Let's keep things rolling along. We'll get into the next question. Welcome to Neil. I know Neil just joined in. So again, the question prompt: where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? Whoever else would like to go next, just go ahead. I'll pass over to Kyle. Did I skip Kyle, or did I butt in there? I forget what I did. No. Kyle, thank you for your patience. We'll pass it over to you next. And then from there, who would like to be able to go after Kyle? If we can just get someone to raise their hand. If you haven't, Lauren, we'll pass it over to you. And then from there, we'll go to anybody else after that. Kyle, thank you so much for joining in. And when you're ready, go right ahead, brother. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going? No worries, you nailed that. Everything everyone's saying is basically the same thing, like dancing, singing, meditating, chanting. So everyone said that, which is great. And like I find there's would be like a different type of connection. Like it's how I was thinking about it. So there's connections like in my breathing practice, like when I'm on the floor and I'm really oxygenated up and I'm almost trancing out. Like there's those kind of things, like taking mushrooms, going into those deeper levels of, and I was going to say too, there's deeper levels of connection that that prompts, like basically when you ask that question, I think like, and after what everyone had said, like there's different levels of this as well, and different types of these connections. So, all the good ones like dancing and breathing practice, meditation, all those things bring me close in connection with people. In writing poetry, like Solomon said. And so like, I find then there's the other side when I get fired up. Like there'll be like a COVID mandate comes out, or you know what I mean? You see where the ball is rolling, you see where we're going, and then they put out a new thing like Quebec with the taxes, and you can see like, okay, holy fuck, they want to bring in this. And there's something in those things that just light me up. It fires me right up, and I just have whatever comes to me now, I have to put on Facebook, I have to put in some sort of format. So I know at least it's dropping seeds on a bunch of people, because it'll just like that side of like, it's not anger, but it's that frustration from hypocrisy, you know, and that fires me right up, and it connects me with spirit in that other way too. And I feel maybe like above my body sometimes, and it'll just be like, it's kind of using the shadow and the side both together, you know what I mean? And it's like that connection I feel is very strong. And then also like working on mind body connection training. So doing a lot of like the ice baths, or when I go running in nature, like doesn't matter how cold it's outside, I'm going in my shorts. And then when I see the sunset and feel the cold, and once I've readapted to the cold and it feels okay to be out there, and you see your blood working in these elements, like you see the red in your hands from your body reacting to the cold and being able to actually withstand out there, and you actually start feeling warm again, then you actually start feeling like that primal ancestral connection that you think you might have lost from a while back. Like, oh, my ancestors ran in the bush with barely any clothes. Oh, I couldn't do that today. Once you actually start doing it, you realize, holy fuck, I can do this today. It kind of like helps reconnect you with the ancestral side of yourself and all their DNA kind of things. So it's like DNA, and kind of another thing that makes me think of is like DNA activation. So DNA, when I get like activations again, the Kundalini or the chills, those, I feel like those are like downloads and DNA connections. They're like where you're evolving your DNA. I don't know how to articulate it right now, but yeah, that's basically when I feel more connected. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kyle, for sharing. I'll just share here real quick, and then we'll pass over to Lauren. I know there's a lot to be able to share here, and if anybody else did want to respond real quick, that's totally fine. But I did like what you were saying, where it was sparking the idea where it's like, absolutely, we feel connected with spirit when we are like deeply passionate about something, but then also at times this can actually be triggered from a place of like guardianship, of like I'd be like, oh, don't you dare freaking like it's for me, it's very akin to the energy of a wolf protecting its pack. And it's just like, I will do whatever it takes. I will stand for what I believe in. I am passionate. You will not get in my way. There's nothing stopping me between me and what I see as being my path, between me and what I love, sort of thing. And then within those moments, we can find that through our connection with art, through our connection with, again, like being an activist, being an artist, whatever the case may be. But when we find that, it's powerful, because it's just like, that is spirit like propelling us through like the bullshit and like into something like stronger. It's like the truth of spirit like dissolving like the illusion around us. Kyle, go ahead.
I was gonna say, the lion rises up. Like you can feel it. It's like you have your higher self behind you. Like you'd see those NFTs, or you'd see some sort of Dragon Ball Z or some I forget what
the Super Saiyans. What are we talking about? Dragon Ball Z? Anime, yes.
They have the souls come out, and it's just like you feel that. You feel that activation when you find teams and other people that are doing what we're doing. And then you find people, and I don't know, when you see the team formulating, it's just like that's another thing that rises you up. Makes that line come out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Being around others and being on a team, like that's, some of you guys saw like that video I did where it was like me like bouncing the hockey ball, but then it had like the Mighty Ducks music to it. Like I know some people, they're like that video pumped me up, man. Like honestly, for me, like whenever I was like feeling like depressed and like mandates were like getting heavy on me and stuff like that, I would like listen to the Mighty Ducks soundtrack, and it would activate my spirit. It would pump me up, man. So like music, listening to good music, because to me, it wasn't just a song. To me, that song was a message and a story that is just like, we are a team and we are in this together. And this is like the final period of the championship of the world. And we are not giving up. We're going to push to the last second, and we're going to win. We're going to win together as a team. Like that's to me. So, like kind of like holding that vision of what spirit is moving us towards. And I'll just say this, like, this is kind of an answer to the question, but it's also like this knowing that like spirit is on our side. Like spirit is like pushing us towards something, and it will continue to move us towards something. And so this connection invites us to be able to kind of like arrive into this deep place of trust. Even though we may be in the state of the mystery of the unknown, to fall in love with the mystery of the unknown, and to really be able to celebrate the power that's awakening inside of us, I would say. Just touching base here, Candace, I know you have to head out soon. If you want to share anything before you head out, please, by all means, go ahead and let us know. And if anybody else did have anything they just want to riff on real quick, and then we'll pass it over to anybody else. Go ahead, Candace.
I just wanted to say, I love this conversation, and just to be real and be in creation is awesome. And I just wanted to say I might be back later, so don't count me out, because if I can come back, I will.
Awesome. Well, Candace, we'll keep the door open for you. So if you come back today, then you'll have a spot here at the circle. So awesome. Candace, thank you so much. Anything else before you have to head out?
No.
Awesome. Thank you, Candace. Wonderful. All right, let's keep things rolling along here. Lauren, we'll pass it over to you next. And who wants to go after Lauren? Tree, and then Flash, welcome as well, and Neil, welcome as well. As soon as we get through this question, we'll get into the next question. It's only 3 questions today, so we'll keep the flow going. So with that said, we'll pass it over to Lauren. Lauren, thank you so much for being here. And again, the question is, where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? Welcome, Lauren.
I love listening to everyone. Thank you so much for sharing. Everything everyone said resonated so deeply with me, and especially the vocal chanting. I hear music within water, within nature, and I feel my connection with spirit, especially being a Scorpio, is very watery, my watery connection. Sometimes in the shower, I can hear like just frequencies of noises, and it's so exciting as it's building, and these gifts build the more I trust myself. And Brendon, you were mentioning trusting yourself. I feel like that is one of my biggest lessons through this journey, is trusting myself and my intuition, and that's spirit just telling us keep going, even though it's tough, even though it's challenging, even though it hurts, even though your heart is like cracking open as you're moving through this. It's humbling, and that's what spirit teaches us the most, is to be humble within this journey, and to learn to always be in the learning seat with speaking to other people, and giving from your heart, like truly giving from your heart. And that's within vulnerability, that's within the messiness, that's within when you're not trying to do something, you're not trying to fix something. I even feel with clients, it's like, it's really when I'm not trying to help someone, is something clicks within them and they're like, whoa, this huge breakthrough. And with me too, it's like when I'm just in that flow and not really like getting caught up on like, should this be right, or is this right, or am I saying it right, or am I doing it right? Like that's just flaking away. And the more those layers that we build up, and we build up like all of these protection layers, like guilt. It's like this comforting feeling to feel guilty. For some reason, I was feeling guilty for so long within relationships, within what I really truly wanted. And but it was me protecting myself. So the more I broke that away and released it, it's like you're coming within your true central channel, which is really what spirit is to me, is this central channel within my body, within the chakra system, within the flow, and within nature, and all of the spirit animals that we see that were so needed. And I think Eloise was mentioning animals and spirits are just, it's so divine to look at an animal and see unconditional love so freely. And even this community, like how much unconditional love is, it makes me want to cry. Like we don't always get that with people and people on this conscious journey, like we're looking inward in the emotions. It's so freeing to feel safe with people. And that's what spirit shows us, is safety in relationships, safety in the journey, safety in the process, safety in trusting yourself. And so much love to all of you. Thank you so much.
Lauren, thank you. Thank you so much. And for your vulnerability and your truth. That's very, very beautiful. Did anybody else just want to be able to reply if there's something Lauren said that maybe somebody else wanted to reply to? Yeah, Tree or Luna, go ahead, one after the other. Tree, if you wanted to reply, and then Luna, go for it. Go ahead, Tree.
Well, that was really beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I totally forgot what I was going to say, but I kind of have to go. So I just wanted to say real quick that what some of you have been talking about, like the dream state and also nature, and I resonate totally with that. Also the singing part, the overtone singing, that for sure. But lately, where it's been the strongest for me, it's been at night during the dream state for sure, because I have a almost 4-month-old baby, and sleep deprivation. I mean, you all should try it. All right, just put an alarm with a baby crying every 5 minutes at 4 a.m. in the morning, and you go back and forth from the dream state, and you'll see you start tripping, you start talking along when you're feeding the baby and all that stuff, and you don't really know if it's a dream or you're awake or what's going on. And sometimes like cool stuff happens because it's like that moment where you don't even really know what in the world is going on. It's cool. And I'm gonna go feed her. So thank you so much,
awesome.
guys. I'll keep listening.
Awesome, Tree. Thank you so much. And shout out to Tree. Tree is one of the creators on Ibble, so you'll see more of them there as well. And thanks for being an awesome mom as well. So awesome. All right, Luna, did you want to reply to what Lauren was saying? And please, by all means, go ahead.
Oh, yes. I wanted to kind of like respond to everybody, kind of, just because I feel I connect with like everyone, and that connects to what Brendon said about seeing yourself in others and being able to actually be vulnerable with others, like truly vulnerable is a scary thing, and a lot of people are scared to do it. And so us doing it here is so fucking amazing, because we're making it okay for others, to do it too. And that fucking rocks. So kudos to all of you. But the singing, like, I can't believe I left that out, because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm a singer, like, hello. But I just was like thinking really fast because I was eating. But anyway, but singing, definitely. When you said that you feel your ancestors, like I got chills. Like I was like, hell yeah. Like you really feel it, because it's also in your body. Like singing is, you use your whole body to sing, and then that using your body, that also connects with what Kyle said about, other levels, like when you're doing breathing exercises, when your kundalini rises, when the light comes in and you get all these chills, or you're on fire, like your body's just sweating, like it's a different feeling. And there's levels to like different states of consciousness where you get to meet spirit in those different states of consciousness. Like when you have psilocybin, for example, is one, example. And I mean, or other types of plant medicines, it takes you deeper to other, I would say that would be in other like dimensions, I guess. I mean, but you can meet spirit everywhere, and that's fucking cool. And thank you guys for helping me realize this stuff. And community, like community, that word was just like hitting me before I got on this call. And that's what's been missing in my life, because it's been really hard for me to open up to people my whole life, and I finally have done it. And it's just like it's scary and exciting at the same time, and I want to cry. And I let myself cry. And because crying is beautiful. They're sacred waters, and you're supposed to put it on your third eye. That's what they say. And then the gifts. I'm so grateful that I'm able to receive my gifts now. And that truly comes from when you open up your heart space and you really let others in. And so when I'm doing Reiki with others, like I get to see their ancestors come in, and I see lights and I feel things, and it's awesome, you know. And every one of us is like this, can do these things. And you know, before I thought like, oh, I can't do that shit, you know, like I guess I'm gonna try, and I kept trying. And what's important is that we stay committed and invested in our own self, because that's where spirit is. God, spirit is here, you know, and spirit is you, spirit is me, and the spirit is this experience too, being a human and feeling all these feelings. And I'm grateful to have this space with you guys, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Luna, so much. Again, even just listening to you and just the conversation we've been having tonight, I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels it, but just like we're like feeling spirit just kind of like very prominent, just very much on the surface tonight. And Luna, that was incredibly beautiful. Like even just what you said there, feel free to like even just like take that as a recording and repost what you put there. Just so raw and so real, and yeah, very, very beautiful. So let's just take a moment here, just kind of like reflect and just take a couple breaths just in silence. I just want everyone to just kind of like take a moment to just kind of like feel the energy of this space, whatever that means to you. Feel the presence of this space. I'm not even really going to say anything. I'm just going to mute my mic, and everyone here just practice taking just a good like 15-20 seconds. Just take a couple more breaths here. Nice big sigh if you need it. Beautiful. It's interesting listening to Luna, because again, you know, it's a very philosophical, metaphysical discussion here. And the other part of it is kind of like this idea. It's like, okay, well, where do you feel spirit? But then it's kind of like a trick question, because it's like, well, technically spirit is everywhere. So the other side of the question is, you know, it's like kind of inviting in almost like this challenge. It's like, can you feel spirit in any part of your life? And so it's not that spirit is, you know, it may be more obvious to certain points, but the obviousness is also just kind of like depending on what it is, but then it's also depending on our consciousness, depending on our attention. You know, like go outside and find like a little like ladybug crawling through the grass and feel that as much as you would a hug from your mother or something. You know, it's really about you choosing to be present with whatever it is that you are in presence with in that moment as well. So yeah, very beautiful. And again, I love what Lauren was saying as well, where it's like reflecting that it's like being in presence with spirit isn't always the moments where like we feel great, where we feel happy and everything like that. You know, sometimes feeling connected with spirit are in the moments where we are in the experience of the shadow, where things are not going as well as we would hope they would be. The experiences of grief, the experiences of death. I can say from my own experience, and this is a topic that we can get into another time, but you know, like when I think of times where I've had to walk very close to the experience of death, those moments, like you are like this close to God in those moments. Those moments are very like it's raw, like you are with spirit in those moments. So again, just kind of opening our eyes to the understanding of that, you know, through this discussion, it's just helping us understand that, you know, spirit is everywhere. And as we just kind of begin to open up our consciousness to it, we begin to develop the deeper relationship with it. So I think everybody here is doing such a great job. And again, shout out to Luna. I just want to give a shout out to Luna. Luna's one of our creators on Ibble as well. So if you guys are on Ibble, keep an eye open for her content there. She's got some great prompts and discussions that you guys will be able to join in on. And again, the Ibble link is in our profile, and you guys can follow that link, and it will link you not only to my profile, but also to a variety of the conscious creators that we have there on the app as well. Several of them who are in the broadcast here today, including Flash, Lauren, and Wheezy, and anybody else who's going to be joining in the near future. So cool. Okay, let's keep things moving along here. We're still on that first question, and let's get into the second question in the next little bit. Neil and Flash, if either of you would like to be able to go next, you're more than welcome to. If you want to pass, we'll move into the next question soon enough. So if either of you want to go next on this first question, we'll do that. So Flash, we'll pass it over to you. And thank you again so much for joining the question. Where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? So let's give a nice warm welcome to Flash. Flash, when you're ready, go right ahead. Welcome.
Thanks, Brendon, and thank you, everybody. This will be pretty short. Definitely, I think I did put in the chat earlier, dreams are such a good space for me these days. So the dream circles have been a great connection, but really tonight currently is the listening. Brendon, you talked about the need to listen, or just the urge to listen. And I think that's what really drew me here. Like, even before you said that, I was kind of feeling that in the chat. And then once you said, I was like, I'm going to jump on. And I've been running in my head a lot these days, and I haven't been able to listen to myself. And so being here, listening to you all and hearing myself and you is giving me that space to just slow down, settle. And then through that, I can hear myself, which is great. So thank you for that reminder, and thank you for the space.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you as well, Flash. Checking in, Neil, let us know if you'd like to be able to share on a response to this, and would love to be able to invite you to do so if you feel called. And again, I'll just repeat the prompt. The prompt: where do you currently feel your connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? Neil, welcome. When you're ready, go right ahead, brother.
Hey, bro. I'll just say real quick, I guess two things. Definitely when I'm creating poetry, I feel like huge connection to source. And the other one would be just when I'm creating events and productions, researching on information, I feel like kind of like a messenger of source when I'm creating presentations and information and curating it in a way to present to others. That's pretty much a couple. There's probably a few others too, but those are probably the two most the two things that I feel the most connection, like a direct download of just like being one with everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Neil. Yeah, when I was answering, I was saying similar thing. It's a unique experience to be a facilitator for community events. And again, there are many of us here who hold that role as facilitator, that archetype as well. And yeah, a lot of beautiful answers that we've had here within the first question. If anybody else does have anything to share real quick, let us know now, and then we'll get right into the next prompt. And the next prompt will be, again, kind of like it'll weave into the next question, this one to the next. Does anybody else want to share anything real quick? All right, so we'll move into the next prompt. So again, for everybody here, if you got a notepad and you want to be able to just kind of like use this as an opportunity to check in with your heart and listen as we ask you this prompt and just see what arises. Try not to think too much about it, just feel it, listen within your hearts. This is a chance for you to listen to your connection with spirit within yourself. So the question is, just go ahead and get ready. The question is, keeping in mind your answer to the first question, what would your life look like and feel like if you engaged more with that? That being the answer to your first question, the several things that you answered. So if you got one, just close your eyes and meditate. Go ahead. I'll put the microphone on mute and we'll come back in about 30 to 45 seconds. Again, the question is, what would your life look like and feel like if you engaged more with that? Go ahead and take this time to reflect on that for yourself. About 20 more seconds. Take your time. And as you feel called to do so, you can gently bring your awareness back to the space around you, and feel free to keep writing and writing out any responses on your own, or just reflecting on this as we move through the circle. So again, the question is relative to the first question: what would your life look like and feel like if you engaged more with that? And so again, this is a very, very intentional question, especially the concept of feeling. You know, I'll just start here. I'll share a little bit of what I had, and then anybody else who wants to go, just go ahead and put your hand up, and I'll know to pass it to you in the next little bit. So for me, again, some of the things that I was talking about was just like facilitating space for community, creating art, meaningful connection with family, listening to others, spending more time in nature. It's interesting because I think a lot of what we'll find here is that many of us will share common answers, and that's okay, but we'll explain it differently, and that's the beauty of it. So I put life, it would look like and feel like very beautiful. It would be, I wrote, it would be abundant, it would be joyful, there would be a lot of creativity, there would be financial abundance. It would be, this is the word that I wrote. I said it would be very shiny, like very glistening, as if, you know, like I look at the things around me and I can see the glistening, the light. It's like I can like see the spirit, because I'm engaging more with that connection. And as I become more aware of it. My consciousness is connected more to its presence. So things start to look a little bit more psychedelic, was actually one of the words I put. And again, when I use the word psychedelic, I literally take it back to its root word, which is again like psyche and delos. It's like connection of the mind and God, seeing the godness within the space around you. So I put, it would feel magical, and also very grounding, very heart opening, and very inspiring. And as I'm just talking here, I didn't write this down, but I would also say it would feel very graceful. It would feel very natural, like a flow, like things are just kind of moving from one place to the next. And it's like I'm like in the boat on the water, and I'm trusting the river, and I know that the river is going where it needs to go. Even if I've talked about this before, and for some reason this metaphor keeps coming back to me, it's like the river knows where it's going. You don't need to know where the river is going. The river knows where it's going. You just have to be on the river, and it will take you there, sort of thing. So the river is the spirit, but at the same time, again, we're talking, and I know we kind of create this paradigm within our head where it's like there's us and then there's spirit, there's us and then there's this, there's us and then there's this. But as we move through this discussion, we start to deepen our understanding, and really, even though we know this, sometimes we just forget it, but just to verbalize it and reiterate it and to come back to it, where it's like, aha, I am spirit. I am nothing but spirit. Therefore, that's the kicker. When I am connected with myself, I am connected with spirit. When I am present in my body, when I am present in this vessel, when I am present in this temple, that is where spirit resides. Your mind, these little things on the side of your head, what are they called? These little things right here, they're called temples. Therefore, the seat of your soul, the third eye, the brow chakra, it is sitting in the center of your temple. So when you become more present and activate your consciousness, you arrive into the spirit at the center of your temple. So as I continue to, and again, I'm inviting this discussion in here tonight because I'm reflecting on it with you guys, where I think for all of us, simply by having these discussions, we're also consciously making the choice to be able to say yes to engaging with more of these things. It's not just here to talk about it. It's here to say yes, because we can feel it, and we can feel that that is actually where spirit wants us to move towards. And so if we choose to kind of like go with it, then it's exciting to imagine where that river will take us. So it is a choice. It's a choice. The door is there, but we have to walk through it. We have to meet the universe halfway, and spirit is there to assist us in doing so. If what I said resonates with you guys, please, by all means, go ahead, drop those 11 lemons in the chat, be it for myself or anybody else. Happy to be able to hold space and just being able to allow the inspiration to arise through myself and through all of us. who would like to go next? We'll pass it over to whoever would like to go next. And if there's anything even in response to what I said or what the others creators will say, then please, by all means. So who would like to go next? We'll pass it over to Kristen, and then we'll pass it over to Alicia. Kristen, when you're ready, go right ahead.
Well, I don't know about anyone else, but I felt a bit called out by your beautiful quote of like, the river knows where it's going, you just have to be on it, and then being like, I've definitely been resisting being on it and knowing where it's going, you know. What I wrote for, yeah, and I agree with that, and I love that, and I often feel so in sync with that, and that, yeah, it was just like tickled my resistance, and I was like, I'm glad I'm here to hear that right now. And yeah, so what I initially wrote when it was like, what would it feel like? My first instinct was it's going to be more risky. And like I've been following like the spiritual path for quite some time, and I feel like I've found my areas of genius in certain ways where I feel really confident and liberated in certain areas. And this area with the singing is not one of those areas. And I did a Bachelor of Music at uni, but I kind of stopped playing for like 6 years for a while because I was doing other creative things, and I had this mindset of like, well, I've only got a certain amount of creative energy, so I'm just going to do this crystal creative craft stuff. And I picked it up again, like, yeah, like during lockdowns and everything. But I feel like a noob again. Like I've never felt like I'm a musician, even though I've studied a whole degree and everything. People talk about their musician stuff and I never chime in like, oh yeah, I play. And it's starting to become like I'm playing daily and things like that. And singing in front of people is where it's going to be moving to, but it's just quite intimidating because I'm like, it's like I've run where Spirit wanted me to go with this other stuff. And they're like, and here's this offshoot from earlier that you didn't quite address. Let's like go back there and see if we can get that to come and meet our current. And I'm like, oh man, just didn't expect to be having such a, not imposter syndrome, but just like a just like a nervousness about the path. Like you go down it long enough and you're just like, yep, you're just constantly growing in confidence. You're like moving it. You've had enough validation from the universe, enough synchronicities to be like, this is the right thing. And then you get called for another thing and you feel like you're out of your depth. And it's like, wow, this just happens again and again. And it's that pushing of the edge. And so I ended up changing it from risky to like being more courageous. And so it's just like, it's just going to feel courageous. It's going to feel liberating and fulfilling and adventurous, because it's like, hey, we don't want to just get to this area of genius and be like, yay, we're here. let's just be a passive genius now. Like that's not how this thing works, kind of thing. But yeah, I do feel like there'll be more vulnerability and more opportunities for connection and more self-realization coming from just like meeting those edges of where courage is needed. There's just so much on the other side of courage every time the opportunity presents. And with the talking as well, like I've chatted with Solomon about being on his podcast, and that's kind of like being like up in the air. And I know that is mainly because of my nerves of doing it. And so I'm like in here and it's just like, you just got to be on the river. And I'm like, I just feel like a deer in headlights of not being on my own river right now. I'm just, really, really grateful for that. I love your little, the power in the metaphors of this that just spark new thought and shine light on the shadow that you, can intellectualize your way out of in other moments, So thanks for that. My confidence is well and truly wobbly right now.
Well, thank you for the real response to that as well, Chris. And I think that's very relatable. And again, I'll just jump in here for 2 seconds, and we'll pass over to who wants to go next. Alicia, I think you wanted to go next after this, yeah. And then who wants to go after Alicia? Just let me know real quick, and we'll pass over to Luna after that. But yeah, absolutely. It's like for many of us, we're kind of talking, be like, oh, I'm going to align with spirit. I'm going to be more engaged with spirit. It's not always going to be like this. Just like be like, yes, this is perfect. Like part of aligning with spirit is just going to be like, oh, this is me going outside my comfort zone. This is going to be a little bit anxious, but also exciting. It's going to kind of like find that edge. It's going to involve a little bit of courage, but also, as Kristen said quite beautifully, it's also going to be liberating. It's also going to be something where it's going to be like, it's the emergence. It's kind of like this moving through the membrane where it's, oh, I'm expanding into more of myself. So again, depending on where we are, for some of us, it's just like, this is where I am right now, and where I'm moving to, it's moving into this, but this process of this is going to feel different depending on, the experience that's unique for us. And the experience that's unique is, quite frankly, the experience that we need, which is also very interesting, because it's not like the universe is just like, oh, I'm picking on you. This is why you have to go through the challenge of this. The universe is just like, no, like you need this. Like this is the experience. The experience isn't what's beyond this. The experience is the journey of moving through the uncertainty and moving through the membrane. So, Kristen, very beautiful. Thank you again for sharing, and we'll keep our eyes open for that future podcast with Sealamon. So, looking forward to it. Cool. Many more to come. So, let's keep things going around whenever it aligns. No rush. Whenever, and let's pass over to Alicia. Thank you, Kristen. And then from there, we'll pass over to Luna. Go ahead, Alicia.
Thank you, Kristen. I'm so excited to hear about your music, man. That's awesome. That you're picking it back up and getting into it, and like really, I mean, just honor it. I go through stages where I'm like, oh, I'm such a hack, like I'm no good, but really our music is so healing. Like we're going to be able to use this music. The codes come through it. It's activating for other people. And like, we're meant to be instruments for source, right? So like, honor that. I'm so excited for you. I'd love to jam with you sometime. If you want to go for, do like a Zoom call, like song for song, if you're working on anything, I'd be so into that. I had a really funny response to this question. I did a 10 out of 10 job just feeling it. Okay. Like just totally in my heart feeling it, and no thoughts came up. I bursted out in laughter, like straight laughter. Right. So I was like, oh, I guess if I were bringing in more of this, connection with source, or, what does that look like? It certainly feels amazing. And I just bursted into laughter, and then had a vision, and the song of the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz came in, and I was just like dancing down a gold path. Like I'd be singing, I'd be dancing, I'd be laughing, I'd be loving if I only lived my dream, so yeah, like a vision of just kind of not using and then I kind of realized, like, if I could connect my heart with my brain entirely, like there was a connection there where I'd be like, it just equals like total trust, divine trust. And it felt like I could be my inner child and come out and play and move forward with excitement and passion. And just actually living and dancing and skipping. I love this vision of me like skipping down like a gold path. It's so awesome. And I love the actually feeling that response. So thank you for that beautiful prompt.
Thank you, Alicia. That's a beautiful image there, and yeah, I'm sure for some of us, part of what we're also tapping in here is something that can be very akin to kind of like that memory of childhood, those childlike energies where it's kind of like very carefree, and we're just doing what we love without really thinking too much outside of the present moment. Thank you for mentioning that, because that just kind of like gave me more to add to my own reflection on this as well. Luna, we'll pass it over to you, and then who wants to go after Luna? Just again, you can put your hand up either now or later, and then we'll keep the ball rolling. We'll pass it over to Eloise or Flash, either or Kyle, and then from there we'll keep things going. And then again, after that, we've got one more prompt, and then we've got the little meditation at the end. So we'll probably be done within the next hour, maybe sooner. We'll see. We'll go with the flow. Luna, when you're ready, go right ahead. Thank you.
Thanks. So I also, like Alicia, like I just felt like this, like, light come in, and I just, this huge smile, like just a lot of joy, so much joy, like overfilling my body. And then I felt like electricity all over my body, chills, and then spinning, like I felt this spinning like in a huge, like a ball. Like I felt this experience before one time that I had like a kind of, well, I felt it twice, but it's like my energy becomes everything, like back to source kind of. And then I felt my hands tingling, and and I saw a vision of just like sky, just all sky. Like I was looking, I couldn't see anything but the sky. But the tingling in my fingers when I tapped into that energy, what came through as a thought or download or whatever was co-creation. So the fact that we are creating every moment of our life, like just we are the creator as well. You know, we are part of the creator, but we also are the creator, and we have that creation at our fingertips. Like we can create anything with it. And then, you know, what you were saying about being in the flow state, you know, I thought, be like water, you know, like I thought about that song, be like water, my friend. And I was like, oh, like I freaking love that. Like you just have to go with the flow, you know, and that's really true for me right now, because like yesterday on Ibble, I hopped on there because I was feeling really sad, and I just was like, just the sadness just came over me, and I felt like I needed to cry, and I was crying, and I'm like, I'm gonna go on there because I wanted to share feelings with emotions with people, you know, because I would like to help others get in touch with their emotions as well, because that's what I'm doing, you know, and I can only share from my own experience. So, and what else did I write? I think that's being grounded, because I felt my feet like really heavy and electrified, kind of. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, it was all feelings mostly.
It's beautiful. Luna, just listening to you and hearing you reference the song by Beautiful Chorus, which is the song that you're talking about. I know exactly what song that is. It's a song called The Waves We Give, and it's obviously inspired by Bruce Lee. Listening, like you literally just saying that, played the song in my head, and now I've got like this like activation sensation just moving through my body. Such a beautiful song. I would encourage everyone to go listen to it afterwards. It's called The Waves We Give. And yeah, like the chorus, like I'm almost like inspired to just like try singing it right now, where it's just like the main part where it's just like the ways until we design the things, be like water, my friend, you shall find a way around it or through it. And then that, like I'm just kind of ad-libbing, and then the main part here, it's like, when nothing is in you stays rigid, we decide the shape we're in. Empty or might be shapeless, be formless like water. It can flow and it can crash, and it's like, it's like, oh my goodness. Let me just play it real quick here. I feel inspired to be able to do this only because Luna brought it up. I'm actually like, this song, like Beautiful Chorus, they created this song like a long time ago. Like they know who I am. I've like reached out to them and stuff like that. I've actually used a couple of their songs in some videos. Super beautiful group of women. I'm just gonna kind of like jump into the middle of it. We're not gonna listen to all of it, but you guys can go check it out later. I'm just gonna switch this over real quick because I want you guys to feel this song. I want you to feel this song, and I want you to be able to feel if it activates any activation sensation. So quick little micro meditation we're going to do right here. Luna, thank you for the inspiration on this. I'm just going to switch it over to screen share with audio and share sound and computer audio. Guys, give me a thumbs up when you can hear the audio on this. Here we go. And we design the waves we the shape we're in, the waves we give. We decide the shape we're in, the waves we give. Be like water, my friend. You shall find a way around or through it, when nothing within us stays rigid.
We decide the shape we're in.
Cannot have it on a regular basis.
Wow. Big round of applause for beautiful chorus there. I couldn't stop it. I had to let them play the whole song there. That was beautiful. How was that for you guys? Quick check-in. Did anybody else get like activation sensations, feelings, heart expansion? What was that like for you? Quick check-in right now. Did you feel spirit in that moment right now? Luna, what'd that feel like for you?
I felt tingles, and I felt like wavy, like wavy. I wanted to wave my arms like this. But yeah, it was awesome. It was just beautiful. I just tingled everywhere.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It was definitely like you can feel it. Like that's again like that energy. Like that's like call it spirit, call it life, call it source, call it like Kundalini, whatever it is. That's energy moving through us, and when we feel that, again, it kind of takes us back to this primordial awareness that like we are like literally existing in like this ocean of love, like this ocean of like just like this beautiful sensation. And then we are here within this physical world where it's kind of like encrusted within this mud, and then we kind of lose that connection to it. And then so when we do create the space for it, it arises, and suddenly we kind of feel this surrender where it's like whoa, and it's very much akin to what we experience in the state of an orgasm, which is again like kind of like this perpetual bliss. But then it's like this reminder that that's not just something that comes and goes, but that's actually something that is permeating through the surface of all moments. In every moment, all we have to do is be aware of it and choose to connect with it. And having modalities and things such as music and things such as community, things such as discussion helps lead us there, helps kind of like direct us back into the awareness of that. So that was super, super beautiful. And I would encourage you guys to go back and listen to that song, and maybe even, listen to it once a day if you want to, because I guarantee if you align with that song and you really resonate with it, you could literally listen to that song, and every time you listen to it, it could activate that sensation within you, because there's like an emotional there's an emotional feeling that you've developed with that song. It's not only beautiful, but it means something to you. So just wait until more of us here are creating more of our own music, and shout out to those of us who are. Shout out to guys. Luna is like a professional musician. I don't know if you knew that, but be sure to check out more of Luna's music as well, and I'm sure you'll get a similar sensation from that. So yeah, this discussion here and a lot of just where my life has been leading me, and I hope you guys even felt it as we started this discussion. Like I'm really just like wanting to kind of like be the water energy that naturally am, but I just want to be able to like practice, like bringing more of that into the space as well. And in the same way that water energy, if it's in me, it's in all of us, just as there is the fire and the air and the earth, but each one has a particular kind of purpose and style and vibration. And I think the water energy is a great space to open us up to kind of feeling the ocean as well. How's everybody feeling right now? In 1 or 2 words, how's everybody feeling right now? Quick check-in. Everybody here, just go ahead and unmute yourself. Everybody here, how's everybody feeling right now?
Good. Amazing. Great. Fantastico.
Animal noises.
Connect.
Beautiful. Awesome. Sweet. All right. We'll keep the flow going here. Let's continue along. We still got more people to share with this second question prompt. What would your life look like or feel like if you engaged more with that? We just experienced it, so let's keep it going. Kyle, did you want to go next? I think your hand was up at one point, and then we'll keep passing the talk and stick around from there. So go ahead, Kyle.
It's gonna be super short, like this. That's it. Like this, like how we all are talking with each other. And
like
the openness and the flow. Yeah, like this. That's it.
I love that. That reminds me of an experience that a lot of people would have when they would go to like a transformational festival. And if they had never been to a transformational festival before, they would go to that. And some people, they would show up in this place, and it's this very loving atmosphere with community and music and artists and celebration and dance. And some people, they had literally never experienced that level of love before. And then they show up to a festival and they're just like, whoa, this is so beautiful to me. I never even knew this level of love was actually possible. And honestly, a lot of what I try to create here within the Paradigm Shift Central communities is experiences that I've learned from those festivals and bringing it into the virtual space so that we can kind of like replicate it, because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist like in the festival, like it's at the festival, but it exists in us. So where we go, we bring this vibration with us in the same way. For all of us here, just as much as you're inspired by me holding space and us creating this space together, you carry that with you into your individual relationships, even if it's one-to-one, even if it's you recording art and sharing it with someone who's going to hear it afterwards. You can create that energy where someone receives it and they're like, whoa, like I'm feeling that. I'm feeling the depths of this love. I'm feeling the depths of this presence. Yeah. And again, it's not even just like it's conversations, it's podcasts, it's music, it's art, it's all the things that we are creating. So I think everybody here has that inside of us. And yeah, again, I just really celebrate everybody for doing it in their own unique ways. If you just check in here, CeeLo, did you want to share anything before you hop off? You're more than welcome to, if you'd like.
I'll just share that my face hurts because I've been smiling so much, and I appreciate just the space that everybody created. It's been really beautiful, and I've had a lot of fun.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, CeeLo. Love having you here. Cool. Awesome. All right. Follow CeeLo on Ceelomon on Instagram at Ceelomon Official, and then also Bring Me to Life Network, and we'll put those into the show notes. Let's keep things moving along. Who else wanted to be able to share on that prompt, and then we'll go into the next part. Talk to you later, Ceelomon. Anybody else wants? Flash, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, let's see about that prompt. I definitely echo so many of the emotions and sensations happening here right now. I think for myself, the first question was kind of where, and so dreams and then listening were kind of my two answers. And so if I did spend more time connecting there, I actually think it probably would help me break through and make more content, kind of, I think, as others have kind of talked about too, finding that voice and being creative for the sake of being creative, and then allowing that to connect to others in the way that it naturally needs to, which then would fulfill, it would be that, that feedback loop where it would fulfill that purpose and thus feed me energetically. And so then I would feel more inspired to keep doing it. So it's a good reminder just even to be in this space again and listen to everybody being like, wow, I haven't quite felt this. I haven't let myself go that deep into feeling that recently. I've been distracted with, more I don't even want to say mundane things. They're very big things, but I have been pushing that connection with spirit away so that I can kind of deal with the logical aspects of my life right now. And I'm realizing that, like, no, of course I have to bring spirit in so that I can deal with the logical aspects of my life right now, because the more I've pushed that away, the more confusing everything has been. So yeah, creation and hopefully connection.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Flash. Yeah, it's I love being able to, again, have these discussions, but yeah, one of the things that I'm reminded of is the idea that we have the opportunity to invite spirit in, to invite it in through practice, through ceremony, through ritual. And oftentimes, and again, that was part of the prompt in this, because I think we all had this built into us, but we may not be doing it all the time, is, for us to be able to intentionally create those moments in our day through ritual, through ceremony, through those little moments where it's like, this is how I connect with spirit. And maybe that's taking a walk in nature. Maybe it's listening to a podcast you like. Maybe it's singing and dancing to a song, whatever the case may be. Spirit will reside in you. But I think oftentimes we get so attached and caught up in the very 3D-ness of this world that the frequency of it kind of like becomes very stagnant. It kind of isn't very obvious. It's there, but it's not prominent. It's not something that's in our immediate focus. And then when we create those moments through meditating first thing in the morning, through coming to circles like this, it invites it into the center of the circle where we can observe it and say like, aha, there it is. And then we get to connect with it that way. So Flash, thank you so much. Always love being able to have you here. And it's great to hear from your heart and for you to share as well. So awesome. Thank you. All right, who would like to be able to go next? Lauren, and then Eloise, did you want to go after that if we would like to? And then we'll get into the next prompt. So Lauren, when you're ready, go right ahead.
And the question was building a deeper relationship with spirit. How do we build, or what would we like to?
The question, do you want me to reiterate it? The last prompt?
Yeah.
Sure. So the first question was kind of the lead in, and then the second question, what would your life look like and feel like if you engaged with more with that being the answer to the first question?
Okay. What would my life look like and feel like if I was to build a deeper relationship with poetry? I feel like there would be more poetry within everything, within life, within questioning, within curiosity, helping others to question and be curious. I feel the poetic mind is the mystic. The poetry will help this world so much because it's so freeing. You can look at something from a space that's very open, and there's no this is the way or the highway. Like it's just poetic. And I feel that the more I allow my life to just be poetry, to create poetry, to sing, to really sing and be free with it. Just like Spiral Soul Seed was saying, I get very nervous singing in front of people, but it's part of my dharma and my passion, and I love singing. And I feel that we all can heal so much with the resonance of our voices and our frequencies. And so definitely building more music and creating more music and being a community to create music and harmonize together. There's such a beauty of free flowing music where you're harmonizing. Oh my God, I get so excited. Like if we could, just do a jam night one night, that'd be super fun. But yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, that was actually when I was just thinking about upcoming events and stuff like that. I'm like, open mic jam. It's on the itinerary. It's on the list. Next week, maybe a flow tree circle, or it may be an open mic jam. I'll get back to you guys on that as soon as I check in with spirit and decide. But I do love the spaces that we create to be able to practice creativity. So even if you guys want to maybe on the side, let me know. Would you prefer a flow tree workshop or would you prefer an open mic jam? The only difference being open mic and jam would be like something where it'd be encourage you to kind of like bring things that you have already prepared, bring poetry you've already written, bring music you have already sung, and then to be able to practice just like holding space for each other as we share our creative expressions. And then maybe again, I'm just like I'm like, so Kristen, you're gonna play a song for us, right, Kristen? That's gonna happen, right? Like, I'll do it if you do it. We'll do a duet. So yeah. No, awesome. No pressure, just opportunity. It'll be fun, whatever it is. So cool. Okay. Eloise, we'll pass over to you. Lauren, thank you again.
Awesome, thank you. I'm done for open mic night anytime, so let's do it. And then honestly, it's really interesting to hear what everyone's responses were to this, because for me, I have been leaning into the things I listed in the first answer, because I think right now my pain point is like patience and finding a balance between patience and momentum. And that's like where I've been struggling. And so like, it's almost like I have been, so like the spine shivers is just like one small example that I can kind of talk through. Is like, before I didn't know what it was, right? It was just like, I would get these like weird like shivers. People would be like, are you cold? Like, should I like turn up the heat? Do you need a jacket? Like, what's going on? And I'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, they'd be like, you just shivered. And I'm like, oh, I don't even like, sometimes I don't even like register that I'm doing it. And so now it's like something I notice and pay attention to, but I still am not like in tune with like what it means and like the meaning behind it. And so I'm kind of like really like integrating the meaning into my physical reality. And I'm starting to see like the manifestations come up. So like, I need a new work computer, but I haven't like put in a ticket for it. All of a sudden I get an email like, hey, we're switching your computers out. Like, you need to come in and do that. And then like, I got bumped up to like next week, and I'm like, yes, like awesome. And like things that I have been thinking about doing or like getting interested in, like I found like a class or something that it just like pops up, and it's like the exact thing that I've been like looking for. Like Lauren's doing a great masterclass on Saturday. I'm really excited about, because I've been wanting to explore like the dark feminine and that side of me. And like, so I think that's perfect. And it just like cropped up right exactly the same week I was looking to like work with that energy. And then like I was thinking about doing a cord cutting, but I've been hesitant because I'm like, well, I don't want to like, I like want to do like a cord cleansing almost. And then like a masterclass on how to do that like popped up in my feed. And I was like, oh my goodness, like that's exactly what I've been looking for. And I'm going to be, but it's like 3 weeks from now. So I like have to be patient and like, you know, kind of work through things emotionally before I like even attempt to like do any actual like physical work in my like real life. So it's kind of that like balancing of like, I'm really impatient right now. I feel like every day I'm like, I want to have that like passion and like go out there and like do things. But right now Spirit's like, no, like you gotta like just chill and like work through these things and like kind of like really integrate them and understand like yourself and your surroundings and like understand spirit better. And so I'm kind of like trying to do that and work through like other things in my environment, in my immediate environment. So I kind of feel like opposite of where some people are at, but it's still really exciting. And I do like that sentiment of like bringing more poetry into your life. I've actually just found some journals that I wrote, like I have like random like poems and like journal entries and stuff in, and so it's been interesting going back through those. And I think I want to make some content like based on those, and I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I can see bringing more music and poetry into my life being exactly what I need. So yeah, thank you everyone for sharing, and it's been great.
Thank you, Eloise. Yeah, and it's cool to hear everybody's responses, because going into this discussion, the questions that I chose, I'm like, we're asking these questions, and I know where it has potential to lead us. And part of that vision is leading us towards being able to be like, actually, you know what? Like, I do want to be able to focus more on my creative practices. Like, that is something very important to me, because like the creative arts that we do, song, dance, poetry, whatever the case may be, any form of expression, that is one of the most powerful ways to be able to connect with spirit, because that is literally spirit speaking through us, acting through us. It is the divine coming through us into the physical world. It's the etheric coming in, and we have this very unique opportunity here as human beings where we do that. We use our hands and our voice and our body to be able to literally transform which was once just in the astral realm of the etheric planes into the physical space where it can thus be shared. So yeah, and I did like what Lauren and Eloise were saying, where yeah, as you start practicing poetry or song and things like that, as you start writing it and creating it, you start seeing the world through the lens of it. Suddenly the world starts to look more poetic. You start to look at things with more of like a poetic eye to it. You start to see the things that maybe you didn't see. Suddenly a bird on a telephone pole looks a little bit different to you, or something like that. The beauty was never gone. Maybe you just weren't looking at it through a certain lens. So it's a beautiful practice. And again, it's one of the ones where the more you do it, the more it kind of like transforms the consciousness that you perceive the world through. I think we're ready to move into our final prompt here, unless anybody else had anything else that they wanted to be able to share. If we've gone, Kristen, yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to respond to Eloise and you, because I love just meeting other poetic thinkers, because it's just like there's a level of depth you can get to that if you don't think poetically, you can't really travel the same concepts. But I did want to say to Eloise, this dancing with the patience thing, that was a really good bite that you gave. Finding balance between patience and momentum was awesome. I wrote it down straight away. I was like, I'm gonna put that on my wall. But one of the songs that I've written has the lyric, "Ain't time a bitch when you're a witch." Knowing what's in you and waiting for truth. And then the song's kind of about like ritualizing surrender over and over again to manage the gap between you knowing your potential and not quite being there. And when you were talking, it just popped in my head, and I was like, I want to share that lyric.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna have to hear that song. So
That's awesome. Kristen, thank you. And Eloise, thank you again. Yeah, it's decided. Next week, we'll do an open mic jam. And that will be, again, a kind of an eclectic present. Sorry, Kristen, please like show up in a way where it's just like, you know what, I'm going to spend the first hour just watching. And then, if you decide to, and we'll all be holding space for each other as well.
I'd love
yeah.
to sing in front of you guys. I just am laughing at how this is ping-ponged into this happening so quickly. I'm like, well, I have to do it. I got to get back on the river. Obviously, unavoidable.
Yeah, that I can see you just like strumming your guitar as you float down the river. There's a song there. So yeah, floating down the river, right? So isn't that an actual song? Floating down the river. I'll make it a song if it isn't already. So anyways,
Riverboat Fantasy.
There you go. All right. Yeah, next week we'll do an open mic jam, and I'm letting you guys know now so you got time to prepare, and that'll be really fun. So if you guys want to do some poetry, some song, whatever the case may be, let us know. And again, for our Patreon members, we'll have you guys up on stage one at a time. So that'll be fun. Okay, let's move into our final prompt here. Is that okay with you guys? Thumbs up. Everybody's doing good. You guys having fun tonight? Learning something about ourselves? Okay, cool. All right. This is our last prompt for tonight. So just go ahead and get yourself ready if you want to prepare to write down whatever you want to write down. Okay. We'll do this one. We'll keep it probably pretty short, and then we'll get into our meditation, and then I'm going to go cuddle Lacey. So don't keep her waiting too long. No, it's fine. She's fine. I'm like, oh, we'll be done by 10 p.m. Lacey. And she just kind of like raises her eyebrow, and I'm just like, yeah, maybe someday. Anyways. Okay. All right. Here's the question. Feeling a smile on your heart, hold that vibration with you. That's exactly where you want to be as you reflect on this. This is a question. How is spirit currently here to support you on your path? How is spirit currently here to support you on your path? So again, we've gone on a bit of a journey here. The first question, where do we currently feel our connection with spirit is strongest or most obvious? The question after that, what would it look like and feel like if we engaged with more of that? And now the last question, how is spirit currently here to support you on your path? So go ahead and take a moment to reflect on that. I'll mute my mic. We'll come back in about 30 to 45 seconds. About 15 more seconds. Beautiful. All right. And come back from that. You guys can keep meditating, reflecting, writing as we go into sharing here, and we'll go around the circle again. And this might be a little bit shorter from the other ones, but yeah, just adding a nice summary to the discussion that we've had tonight. So again, the question I'll just share a little bit first and then maybe a little bit later. So again, the question being, how is spirit currently here to support you on your path? One of the answers that I'll put here, and then I'll pass it to whoever wants to go next, is it's bringing people into my life who share a common frequency and a common vision. That to me is how spirit is supporting me. Spirit is supporting me through the presence and the connection and the community of other people. Like you guys right now, the beautiful people who are tuned into this, who are here in the circle, like you are spirit supporting me. Like again, we keep creating this weird kind of like illusion within our head where we forget that your spirit and your spirit and your spirit and your spirit. We keep thinking that spirit is like this wifty thing that's just kind of floating around, and sometimes we see it in a reflection of light shining through a tree branch, but instead it's like looking at each single one of us and just be like, holy shift, you're spirit. Like you are literally spirit, and what you're saying to me is actually supporting me, is helping me find myself, is helping me show up for myself. So community for me is a huge answer for this. You guys are testament to the fact that spirit is supporting me because we're supporting each other. And I hope that's a common thing that many of us are feeling here as well. No one told you to be here. You chose to be here. Spirit led you to this. Spirit synchronistically kind of connected us to each other. So spirit is connecting us to people before we even meet them, synchronicities, non-linear connections, branches kind of overlapping. And then the other things I put, and I'll just share this real quick, it's creating new opportunities for me to utilize my skills and talents in fun and expressive ways. I would say one of the ways that spirit is supporting me is quite explicitly is like right now, like these opportunities that are opening up with the Ibble app. I know I'm not the only one who feels this, but for several of us, we feel that like the opportunities that are rising with the Ibble app have shown up at a very exciting time. And for me, I feel like the past 12 years of my life have kind of prepared me to step into this role on Ibble, where I get to utilize my skills in a way that's like very focused, where it's just like, whoa, like I'm really good at doing what I can do here. And so that for me is one of the ways that I feel supported, by being able to kind of like bring all of these skills that I've cultivated over the years and to bring them into action and to use them in a way that's not only beneficial for myself, myself and my family, but others as well, my digital family, my soul family that we have here as well. It's creating a safe and loving environment for my family is what I'm reflecting on, where again, you know, just the fact that spirit is supporting me, just in the fact that, you know, like I have a roof above my head, I've got food on my plate, I've got a nice warm house, I've got a nice warm bed, those simple things like that. So yeah, this question can kind of be as deep as you want to take it, but at the same time it can be very kind of like obvious as well, depending on how you look at it. The other things I wrote, yeah, like dreams, meditation, inspiration, feeling the inspiration coming to me. That would be one thing where it's like, how is spirit supporting me? Spirit is supporting me through the discussion and the conversation that I'm initiating with spirit, where I'm inviting in spirit to say like, hey, spirit, what do you want me to do today? Hey, spirit, how can I be of service? And then when I open up that dialogue through meditation, that's where things arise. And it's like, oh, that's a dope idea for a new event or a new video that I'm going to make today. And maybe I'm going to make that and it's going to inspire someone else. Anyways, let's keep the talking stick passed around here. So whoever else would like to go next, just go ahead and put your hand up and we'll pass it over to you. And then we'll get close to the meditation. Flash, go right ahead.
Yeah, I kind of would echo a lot of those thoughts. For me, kind of going with the line of my answers here and thinking about dreams, and then kind of that leading into maybe more creation content too. Spirit has just been holding me. And I know that's a really broad term in and of itself. It, like you said, it can mean something as like easy as like, you know, the roof over your head, the food that you are blessed to eat. Lately through dreams is where spirit's really been holding me and giving me that power. And it's been holding my fear for me. So like, I often think of bravery as like working through fear, but lately spirit's been through my dreams holding that fear so that I'm not having to feel it, right? It's not even quite the right word. It's a level of empowerment, I should say. And so it's giving me the space to kind of work through it kind of in a separate place. And so then I can go in my waking life and carry that and then step further into what I feel my next step is, my next purpose is right now. And that's what I'm feeling really grateful for with spirit and kind of want to continue to tap into is through my dreams and through that listening through other people and then to myself, stepping deeper into that.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah. Having discussions about a dream, always here for it. And yeah, I'm glad that there's so many of us here that are passionate about that as well. So awesome. Thank you, Flash. Let me just rewind things 2 seconds here, because this was on my mind and I just forgot to mention it. You heard mention of it a little bit earlier. Eloise was talking about it. This coming weekend, Luna and Lauren are hosting a very special masterclass on sensuality. It's a playful sensuality masterclass. I'll put the link for that in the info for this video. You guys are encouraged to check it out. If it's something that you resonate with, definitely go ahead and register, reach out to them if you have any questions. And again, just one of the awesome events that some of the members in our community are facilitating. So Lauren and Luna, thank you so much for holding that space. So you'll hear more about it on their Instagram and everything like that as well. But who knows, maybe that kind of like ties in with the theme of today's discussion actually as well, because it's like tapping into the creative spirit that comes through that topic as well. So Jessica, thank you again. Who would like to be able to go next again on this prompt? How is spirit currently here to support you on your path? Who would like to go? Kristen, go for it.
Well, yeah, my first one that came to mind was tarot, because it's been such a regular practice. It seems like it just goes straight into my cortex without me having to think about the cards sometimes. It's just like pull them out and it's like, oh, okay, and move on. So that's a nice thing. But what's really weird, like these questions are so stimulating. Like they're so stimulating, Brendon, I just want to say, like, and nothing's really, everything's simple and it's not at the same time, like trying to answer them. But I've got a lot of like really close, like powerful feminine characters in my life. And when I'm going through emotional stuff, I can easily talk to them about anything. And what I'm feeling is spirit is supporting me through them so that emotional turbulence really comes to closure really fast, like through being able to talk unapologetically with people. So I'm really appreciating that like feminine support, and feel like talking gives me a lot of medicine and for them and me as well, like so much for me. And it gives me kind of sovereignty from the drama of like emotional troubleshooting, because it moves on so quickly. We have this joke that's like anything that's going wrong within a day and a half, it will be over. Like clarity will move through by that time. But what I feel like what is actually happening behind that is that I'm getting given this sovereignty and this feminine power, and so that I have the space to activate my masculine, which is the bit that I'm actually procrastinating about. It's like, usually if stuff's dramatic and emotionally turbulent, it's like, well, I've got to focus on this emotional stuff. I've got to like work through, and I don't have the capacity to do both. Like I would often, argue that. And now it's like, well, you've actually cultivated this perfect container where drama doesn't last. What are you going to do with that spaciousness? And I'm just like, so spirit is supporting me to move into my masculine power, and it's not my area of genius again. So I have that like nerves around it, because I'm such a feely emotional person, and I just really get a lot out of navigating emotions. But what's the point of being able to have that genius if you can't have an activated spark with the closure that you get from emotional resolution? So I'm just I'm feeling supported, but also yes, very challenged. Like the support is a challenging support, because it's like, look, you have all of this, and also just like really ease and flow with my material world, and like no scarcity consciousness going on with that. So it's like, you have like this perfect platform to just start making a fire. And so it's support, but it feels challenging. So that's my answer.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, again, with this question, it's like, how is spirit here to support you? Support doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, here, let me make things incredibly easy for you. The support may be, here, let me help you do the hard things. Let me help you through the responsibility that you are evolving into, that you are maturing into. And I think, again, this kind of goes with this, where it's like, the universe won't give us anything that we're not ready for. So, as we kind of like feel more of these responsibilities opening up to us, they're there because we are becoming ready for them. And maybe we won't realize that we are ready for them until we kind of take a little bit of that step into the unknown. But Kristen, you're exactly where you need to be in order to get to where you're going. And everything that you do need is within arm's reach. That's something that I tell myself every now and then. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's good. That's good to know. But Kristen, how are you feeling right now? Just as we get close to moving to the end of the discussion and after today's prompts and everything.
I feel stimulated, challenged, and fulfilled. I'm just like, I'm cringing in the membrane, as I said in the chat. That's what's happening. I'm not pushing out a membrane. There's a really heightened awareness that I'm in a membrane that needs to be pushed out of. So it's making me cringe.
Awesome. Well,
I'm happy and self-aware, but like,
we'll sing about it next week. Cringing in a membrane. It's a new song. I'm waiting for it. You and Luna can collaborate, and Lauren can sing backtrack on it. So I'm just waiting for it. Please, I'll join in. Okay. Anyways, lots of ideas coming to the surface here. Again, nothing to say here. Let's just keep moving on. Okay. Who wants to be able to go next? Moving close to the end of the broadcast, we'll get into the meditation shortly. Kyle, go for it. Yeah.
I've been feeling that like through dreams and messages as well. That's like big time, like support. It's not even really support right now. It's like nudging. It's like, hey, go this way, go this way. Like, especially in dreams, it's been a while for a mushroom trip for me for like a year. And it's just like keeps messaging me back like, hey, and there would be like some people I follow, it'll bring up their martial arts group, and I'll be in their group, and they're like mushroom kind of like they treat it like martial arts. Where every month they go really deep, and I'm getting like visions of me being in their clan or group or whatever you want to call it, and then like other dreams of just keep telling me, hey, do this, and also through people. And like, I wrote source speaks through others. So when I have a problem, talk to my girlfriend, or I'll talk to someone, and things just like this knowledge comes out of some people and you're like, the fuck, you know, like, wow. And that knowledge is literally for you. And that's why that connection with other people is so good. And a bunch of people mentioned tarot cards. And I think Luna at the start said, pack your bags. And that tripped me out because I did a tarot card reading. My uncle does those tarot cards. And when we were down there for Christmas, I was like, hey, he did one for me and my girlfriend. And both of us, it lined up to the same. And we asked like, he basically said, we're going to travel somewhere. We're going to go somewhere. We've been kind of wanting to flee Ontario, like, you know, go to Mexico, Costa Rica or Florida or something. Right. And I'm like, hey, well, where are we going to go? And, you know, he doesn't know. My girlfriend asked Sudbury and he said no. And then like a couple days later, I called my buddy because I need some weed from BC. And we're, you know, I'm just chatting with him and he's like, man, I have, you know, 6,000 square feet. I have 11. We want to build a hempcrete house that's 11,000 square feet. He's like, I'm creating a commune. And I met this guy through like universal intervention, like car breaking down in Chilliwack, BC. Some guy introducing me, like some guy stopped 3 a.m. here, come stay at my house. We fixed my clutch for like 3 days. And then he introduced me to these growers that are having a hard time. And then just from there, I met that guy. And that was like 10 years ago. So me and him are connected that way. So anyways, he's like, yeah, you got to come move up here. And we have a whole group of people who are like-minded and ready to go. And we can build like earth ships and hemp houses. And on the property, we can do breathing, sauna, cold therapy. We can have an apothecary. Like it's on unincorporated township. So it's legit like endless. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want. And the people there are all like society for the future. And then so all this stuff is like, I need to figure out if I'm going there. And it just all started lining up. And then the fact he said, pack your bags, I'm like, oh my God, it's tripping me out. So that's how spirit supports me.
That's awesome. Well, Kyle, that's exciting. I'm sure we'll hear more about it. And yeah, it's interesting because again, as we kind of have this discussion, the space between dream realm and the waking state really begin to blur depending on your state of consciousness, because you start to really see that, you know, as much as you would interpret dreams through the lens of symbolism, you begin to realize that that symbolism is happening here within this reality as well. And yeah, it's kind of like, it's just like, wait a second. It's like the mushroom trip never stopped. The symbols are still unfolding. The dream is still happening. Is the universe talking to me right now? Absolutely, it is. Are you listening is the real question. So, and then you can talk back to it as well. So in a polite way, don't talk back to it as if it's like your parents and be like, don't talk back to me. Don't talk back to you. That's a bad joke there, but shout out to Jammy in the chat. Apparently that's Cammy's new name. I'm calling her Jammy. Says, because she actually said that, she says spirit is like mom and dad without being enabling, fully supporting and encouraging through challenges. So remember that your parents love you even when they're giving you a little bit of that tough love, because the universe will give you that tough love, and that in itself is still support sometimes. Kristen knows that. So okay, all right. Sorry, we all know that. Absolutely. All right, let's keep things rolling along here. Kyle, thank you so much. Who would like to be able to go next? And then we'll keep things going along. Then we'll get into the closing meditation. Lauren, go right ahead. Kyle, what did you draw there real quick? Kyle's giving us a quick show and tell here. What do we got here, Kyle? You wrote love on a piece of paper?
I like to draw when I'm listening. So I just wrote love.
You drew that while this podcast was happening?
Yeah.
That's dope, dude. Like that's like dynamic and everything. It says love for those of you on Spotify, and it's like a heart with like super cool like patterns around it.
Yeah, I love drawing patterns. It's one of my favorite things is drawing the patterns I see in meditation or the patterns I see under trance or anything.
That's cute. Awesome. Cool. Thank you for sharing that, Kyle. All right. Lauren and then Luna, we'll pass the word to you. So go ahead, Lauren.
It was beautiful. I loved the patterns and the intricacy in there. So I wrote a little inner child poem because my last question was I wanted to incorporate a little more poetry. So spirit is here to support me on my path through feeling less wrath and having a laugh, opening up for what's to come. It's already been done. Your highest timelines in this fun. Abundance flows as you go, and those spontaneous heart tickles, you know. Spirit helps me be me. This beingness is free.
That's beautiful. You just wrote that as we were hanging out here?
Yeah, as the journal prompt, I was like, you know what? I should just write a little poem.
There you go. Following up on. Yeah.
Flow out.
Wow, man. We're like, there's like art literally coming out of us just having this meeting unintentionally. So that's really cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Luna, we'll pass over to you. And then I know we still got Alicia and Eloise. So if you guys want to go next, that's totally fine. So Luna, we'll pass over to you next when you're ready.
I like that, Lauren. That was really good. Thank you for inspiring me to get to work on my EP that's been waiting. You should be on it, actually. I'll have you on the EP. But so I wrote down. So I felt like what's supporting me is like, first I thought like the people around me, like this community, for example, that came in this time that I felt like I needed support, because I started to feel very alone and isolated because I was too much in hermit mode. That can happen sometimes, and then sometimes I can be too much on the outside, on the opposite side. So balance is key and stuff. So I started thinking about the people, but then I thought, those intrusive thoughts come in, right? And it was like, oh, what about money, and I heard this voice say, all of my needs are met. Like all of your needs are met, fully supported. You are fully supported. Understand the word full. And all you have to do is just receive. That's what I heard. All you have to do is just receive. Because for so long, like I have not wanted to ask for help. I want to do everything on my own and then by myself. And then I start to begin to feel overwhelmed. And then I'm so overwhelmed that I don't do shit, And so I'm just putting myself in my own way. I'm putting like a rock or a wall or something from the water to actually just flow. The waters of abundance, right? Like money is always referred to as water, like liquidation, for example, like that kind of stuff. So yeah, it really is a flow that you just have to allow to come in. You just have to allow it, and if you are fully supported, if you believe that you are, and you are. And I also wrote down comfortable being uncomfortable. So getting comfortable being uncomfortable, because it's not always going to be easy. Spirit is saying like, yeah, you have to just jump in like full ass, no half-assing, and yeah, you might stumble and fall maybe, but you get back up and the next time you're going to reach it higher and higher because you already know what you got to do, and you're always fully supported. And even when you fall, you're going to fall into my hand, and it's just that's the full support that I heard in my mind. And yeah. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you, Luna. Awesome. Lots of beautiful wisdom here shared tonight. I love being able to kind of like perceive it through the lens of just like consciousness speaking to itself, so we can kind of see the overlapping themes here. And yeah, as different as our journeys are, they're actually quite similar at their core. So Eloise or Alicia, who would like to go next? And then we'll get into the meditation, and then we'll be done for the night. Eloise, I almost said like, I almost like combined you guys' name there. Eloisia. So that's a cool name.
Yeah. Just to piggyback on what Luna was saying, that was amazing. And also, so my dog's name is Luna, so I think she's like getting called over to the computer like the entire Zoom call. She's like, why do you keep saying my name? Okay. But yeah, yes, you have to allow it to come in and just receive and ask for help. That's like been my thing lately, is like remembering to ask for like my guides and people for help in certain situations, because we are sovereign beings and like they won't help us, they won't intervene unless we like ask them to. And so I think that has been a major shift for me recently. And that has kind of, I've seen like the results of that come in with like I felt very overwhelmed at work because I was doing like all this stuff and I felt like so like overburdened at work. And I asked for like help a few times, and now I feel like my job is like super easy all of a sudden. And I'm like, and everyone else is like taking on all this like stuff. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like now I can like focus on other things and like not feel so drained all the time. And I can actually put energy into things I feel passionate about, not just like my muggle job or whatever. And so I just that's a great what you were saying, when I just really appreciated that. So and that's kind of how spirit has been supporting me lately, is just showing me that they are there if I ask for that help, and showing gratitude for that help also, kind of that like give and take with them, building that relationship.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Eloise. I know Jamie was resonating with that in the chat. I think that's like a powerful reminder. I'm glad we went through the broadcast without, with mentioning that, this idea that it's like, yes, it's okay to ask for help. It's kind of like the idea where it's just like, it's like, how is spirit currently supporting me? Spirit's just like waiting there. So it's like, come on, ask for help. Come on, ask for help. Like, we're ready to help, but you're not asking for help. So it's okay to ask for help. And again, like sometimes the help, it's not going to be like, it's like, oh, like it showed up through a tarot reading or it showed up through a dream. Sometimes the help arises through another person, the synchronicity kind of aligns through an opportunity, through a job, through a door opening up, whatever the case may be, through like a new, discovering a new creator and then tuning into a podcast and you're just like, whoa, this podcast answered all my questions that I currently had, or something like that. Maybe it's right here. Maybe it's this moment. Maybe this is us. Maybe this is the universe answering our asking for help, and just being like, oh, I want something, I need something. So again, I think, how is spirit here currently to support you on your path? I think a part of that also go hand in hand with us becoming more clear on our connection with our body and what our own needs are. When we become more clear on what our needs are, spirit will be more clear on how it can support us, where it's just like, I need support. And then it's like, get clear on your needs. And then we will be able to support you. What do you need support with? And then you can get more clear on that each and every single day, a little bit more. So, and again, you're your own support as well. Your choice to be able to say, like, how is spirit going to support me? I'm going to support myself by choosing to take 10 minutes to meditate and to cultivate that will, to develop that will like a muscle and not leave it up to chance and hope that some like squirrel is going to show up with some sort of synchronistic message or something like that. I don't know what that means. Maybe it means squirrel medicine. I don't know. Maybe it means something to you, right? Like you're waiting for like a synchronicity to show up. Don't wait all day looking out your window for a synchronistic squirrel to show up. You take action, and you are the one that's going to say, this is what I need. I need to be able to sit down on my mat and do a little bit of yoga. I need to meditate. I need to journal. I need to get some good sleep. I need to go to bed earlier. I need to practice my dream journaling. I need to eat some good food. I need to practice creativity. I need to connect with community. We've got needs. Know your needs, and spirit will support you through the process of meeting those needs as well. And then when those needs are met, new things also arise out of that. So it's kind of like it's kind of a stepping stone hierarchy. Eloise, yeah, go for it.
Just one little thing too is also like just like shaking up your routine just a little bit can also help bring in like a little like gift from spirit sometimes. So like go to a different grocery store than you normally go to, or like go for a walk on a different path than you normally go. Just the smallest little thing, and the spirit might like show you like, here's a little like gift for that.
And there you go. Pro tips right there. So if you do the same thing you've always done, you'll get the same thing you've always got. In order to get something you've never experienced, you have to do something you've never done. So I know that seems obvious and redundant, but it's true, right? So maybe tomorrow, maybe you're going to do something you haven't done. Maybe it's something you haven't done in a while, or maybe it's something you've never done before. So I would use this prompt, this call, for all of us to be able to, like wake up tomorrow and just be like, you know what, I'm going to make my routine. I'm going to write out my routine tomorrow. Maybe that's the change. Maybe the change is just starting your day by writing out a list of 5 things that you're going to do. 3 of those things are going to be related to tasks you have to accomplish, and 2 of those things are going to be for yourself, whatever they may be. And I guarantee you, the more you can kind of develop a relationship like that, the universe will naturally be like, oh, here's some bonus points for you. Here's some bonus gifts for you along the way. And those are kind of like affirmations, be like, yes, keep going. So, you guys resonating with that? Feeling good? Okay, cool. All right. Alicia, did you want to jump in, and then we'll get into our meditation and just any closing thoughts before that? Go ahead, Alicia.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the laughs today too. You're getting like straight up belly laughs out of me. And I'll remember not to wait for any synchronistic squirrels.
I don't know what that means, man. Spirit told me to say it.
It's so funny. Like I just wrote down, I'm like, Spirit's always there, just waiting for me to tap in. Like literally you asked that question, right? And I'm like, okay, just take a minute to like take a deep breath and tap in, and you feel that channel, or you feel the energy move in your body, and or whatever you actually look at, or what's going on in your mind's eye, right? And it's always there and just waiting for me to be present, and stop looking for the answers, but just to tap in. It's always there. And you made me laugh so much when you were like, ask for help, because I really need to, and Eloise, you brought that up too, that remember to ask for help, because support is always there, right? So that was a great reminder for me. Thank you so much. And where does Spirit show up? Spirit's showing up. The fact that we all get to be a mirror for each other is a miracle. Like it really is. Like and thank you so much. As soon as I started this call, I had a huge smile on my face, because like Luna, or all of us, whatever, you go through these hermit modes, right? And I'm just getting out of my hermit mode and out socializing today, or being connecting with you guys, and you guys are speaking all of my answers for me. Like I've written, all of you guys have shared something that I've been able to take a little nugget from, and it's amazing. Also, I just wanted to share this, that Lauren, it's so funny, Lauren, as soon as you came on, both times, or when you've spoken, my eyes have gone out of focus, right? Like a spirit source wanted me, like my eyes went out of focus, and I don't never look at people's auras or anything, but tonight I was like, oh, my eyes just went out of focus, and I could see your aura, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like I've been able to see those things or whatever, but tonight, like, Source showed up for me that way, like, oh, you have the ability to do that, right? Because I could see Lauren's beautiful aura. Both like every time she came on, my eyes just went out of focus, and I was looking at her like light body basically, or her auric field, and so Source is always there, just waiting for us to connect, or for me to connect and tap in and get out of my my singularity thinking, right, or just my thoughts, and tap into like the divinity that is all around me, constantly just waiting for me to ask for help. Anyways, thank you so much for tonight, guys. I love you all.
Thank you, Eloise. Man, that was what you said there. Like I think that was intentional, but you're like, oh, like it's not just. Well, I'll just reiterate, but it's not just a miracle, it's a miracle. Like that is a new word in my lexicon now. I'm typing it in. I'm like MIRRORCLE, miracle. Like it's not even it's as a separate word, and then it's like miracle. Like I don't know. For some reason I'm just like, holy shit, that's like a real word, man. That's what it is. It's like the mirroring of ourselves and Source, and in the process of doing that, thus creates a miracle. So anyways,
I like that. That's funny that came through. I've totally taken holy moments from you. Holy moments I love.
Yes.
And activation sensation. Like I'm like, or even Eloise, you describing those shivers down your body. I've had those since I was a kid, like seizure moments. Like one time I even like slapped myself in the face when I was like sitting like this. My whole life I've had those, and it's so relieving and comforting to hear other people speak about it, even if we don't fully understand it, you know, we're getting there. And I just want to say thank you, because when we speak about these things, you know, we're all growing together, and our activation sensation. Thank you for sharing that, Brendon.
There you go. So maybe that's the name of the band that Luna and Lauren and Kristen are starting, and anybody else. This is the band. This is the activation sensation experience. So anyway, stay tuned next week for a debut on stage together. Oh God. And so it is. So, okay. Anyways, we'll prepare ahead of time. All right. I don't know. Spirit wants to do it. I guess we'll find out what that is. So, okay, cool. Does anybody else have anything they want to share before I move into the meditation? I'm glad everybody's having fun tonight. That's always such an important thing. So you guys ready to do the meditation? Feeling that? And then we'll wrap it up for tonight, and we'll all go focus our attention where we need to. So, all right. So for everybody here, just go ahead and get yourself ready for a bit of meditation. So if you were here for the past Spiritual Seeker Support Circle, and again, we do these as regular events within Paradigm Shift Central, maybe once a month, maybe every once and a half months, kind of up in the air, depending on what the schedule is like. But the meditation that we do, it has like some spaces within it that your heart gets to fill. So I'm going to create a little bit of a story. It's not going to be super complex, but within this, you're going to have the opportunity to be able to just kind of like see what arises. And what arises is what I want you to be able to receive. And it's in sync with the prompts that we've done tonight. I'm not going to explain much more about it, but we'll talk a little bit afterwards as well. So for everybody here, just go ahead and get yourself nice and ready. Oh, Jamie wants to join the band apparently. So okay, Jamie, you can join that. All right. Anyways, okay. All right. So for everybody here, just go ahead and get nice and comfortable. For those of you on TikTok and Instagram, if you guys want to jump over to YouTube, it's not too late. Click the link in my profile. Okay, here we go. You're welcome to keep your camera on or off. It's totally up to you. For everybody here, when you're ready, just go ahead and close your eyes. Just take a moment here to connect with your breath. Soft, gentle inhales and soft, gentle exhales. Allowing the softness to just be with you in this present moment. This sensation of this very watery energy that we've cultivated here within this space tonight. Just allow yourself to submerge deeper into it. And as you gently breathe here, you're going to arrive into this meditation as if you're just slowly just kind of like moving through a beautiful source of water, like falling into a dream. As if you're like lying on a bed and suddenly that bed just becomes water and it just kind of like teleports you into this waking dream that will be the experience of this meditation. So allowing your breath to gently guide you, adjusting your posture if need be, straightening up your spine, opening up your chest, relaxing your hands wherever you wish, relaxing your face. Imagine yourself in this moment with as much detail as possible. You are walking through a beautiful park. It can be daytime or it can be nighttime. It can be summer or it can be winter. And you're strolling through this park, and maybe it's a park that you actually have been to before, a place that you know of, or just a general concept of a park as a symbol in your mind. As you're walking through this park, ahead of you, you see a bench. And on this bench, there is a person sitting on this bench. You continue to walk towards them, and as you do, you feel a sense of familiarity within your heart. The person on the bench is someone very particular. In fact, the person who is on the bench is the future version of yourself. The future version of yourself from about 6 months to maybe 1 year from where you are now. Not super, super far into the future, but far enough. So it looks like you, but it's a continuation of who you are. And so as you walk closer towards this bench, they look up at you and you look up at them. And however you choose to interact in this moment, just listen to your heart. Maybe it's silly, maybe it's funny, maybe you're like, hey, what's up? And you give yourself a hug and a high five, whatever the case may be. And you just feel the loving presence of your embrace in this moment. And in this moment, this other version of you has a conscious awareness in their own. It's still you, but it's a you that is speaking to you in this moment, almost like your higher self. And so this future version of you invites you to be able to sit down on the bench, and you reminisce about how beautiful a day is and how magical it is to be here in this moment. And then the future you says to you, it says, I've got something to show you, something very special, very cool. And they reach over into a little bag next to them, and they pull out a picture book, a picture album, a photo album, like an old style photo album, one with actual printed photos inside of it. And so you're excited to be able to see what's in the photo album. And you ask them, you say like, well, what's the photo album? Like, oh, what's this about? And they say to you, they basically explain, they say to you, this photo album contains images of things from your timeline, of things in your life between from where you are now to where that future version of you currently exists within your story, within your timeline. So whatever is in this book, in this photo album, are memories, moments, experiences that take place between now and the next 6 months or the next year. And so you're actually pretty excited about this. It's like, oh, this is kind of neat. It's like peeking into the future here. And so the photo album hasn't been opened yet. And so what we're going to do is we're going to imagine ourselves opening up this photo album. And the you next to you is excited to be able to share with you what this is. And you can kind of feel yourself getting excited too. And so they say to you, this first photo that you're going to see is a photo of you at a time when you are doing something that you love. Open up that first page of the photo book now. And the page opens up, and you see that first photo of a time when you were doing something that you love. See what the photo is. See the detail on it. See what your face looks like in the photo. Maybe you're smiling. Some powerful emotions. You can almost look at the photo and you can see the energy of it. And this photo can be something that just exists as a still frame, but through it, you can almost see the scene it connects to within your mind. A moment that is captured of you doing something that you love. And it's a photo that has taken place sometime between now and the 6 to 1 year from now. Take a moment here to just reflect and observe that photo and just connect with it. Look at it with so much detail that you can like feel it. You feel it not just as a photo, but you're like, oh, this is actually like a memory of the future. What is the photo? And so you can imagine your future self talking to you about what the photo is. And they'll say to you, oh yeah, this was when you did da, 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 da. Imagine this conversation within your mind now. I'll stop talking and just allow you and your future self to talk about what this photo is and why it's important to you. Go ahead. And so the more that you talk about this photo, the more crystal clear it becomes. So real that beyond this meditation, whatever this image is, you'll still be able to see it within your heart and within your mind. It now exists as a memory within this moment that connects you to this future moment. And so take another moment here. And then when we're ready, we're going to flip to the next page. Awesome. Remember what that photo feels like. All right. So we're going to flip to the next page now. And your future self says to you, they say to you, This next photo on the next page is a photo of a time when you are with someone you love. This is a photo of a time when you are with someone you love. And they flip the page now. What photo do you see? Try not to think about it, just feel it. Allow it to arise. A photo of a time when you are with someone you love. Look at the details, the smiles, or whatever emotions are on your face. And just allowing yourself to feel any emotions that arise within you right now. This photo could have deep, deep meaning to you. And you can feel this photo, not just as a photo, but you can feel it as like something that's connected to who you are right now. A branch of your timeline, a branch of your tree. And they're going to take a few moments here and they're going to tell you a little bit more about what this photo is. Go ahead and talk to them about it for a few moments here. And as you look at this photo, you can feel yourself like almost like moving into it. Like the photo almost becomes like an access to a scene. And you can feel that scene. You can feel it in your heart. Like a memory that you're remembering of the future. And so both of you smile. You can tell that this is a very special moment to you. And so just take another moment here, and then we're going to flip the page to the next photo. Beautiful. And you thank your future self, and you let them know, and be like, okay, let's see what the next photo is. And so they tell you, they say the next photo, this is a photo of a time when you have accomplished something important to you. This is a photo of a time when you have accomplished something important to you. And so they flip the page and you see that photo right now. What is the photo? What is the scene? What is the image? What are you doing? What is your facial expressions? What is your energy like in the photo? A time when you have accomplished something important to you. So just as before, your future self tells you a little bit more about what this is. And you can tell them, be like, oh man, like that's super, like, oh, like I'm excited about that one. How does it make you feel looking at that? And maybe that accomplishment right now, maybe it feels like it's over the horizons. It's beyond the mountains, but just know that that accomplishment is within your branch. How does it feel to see it? So take a few moments here to reflect and just allow yourself to speak with your future self as you reminisce. And so again, as you look at this photo, you're really like remembering the details of it. So real that after this meditation, you might even want to write down what the photos were and hold them as a memory within your heart. So these photos beyond this meditation, a week from now, a month from now, you're going to keep them in your back metaphysical pocket until the moment that they actually happen. And you're going to be like, holy shift, that's what I saw. And here I am now. What a freaking miracle. Yes, I said miracle. So anyways, take another moment here, reflecting on what this photo feels like to you. You're building a nice, beautiful collection here. Thanking your future self. And they're just like, yeah, that's a good moment. Enjoy it. And so we're going to get ready to flip to one more photo. And maybe there's more photos in this, and maybe you'll come back to this meditative space at your own time. Maybe you'll go through it even further. But for today, we're going to look at least one more photo. And so you're thanking yourself once again, and you're eager to see what the next photo is going to be. And so your future self says to you, this next photo is a time when you were at peace. And just take a nice deep breath here. Just be aware of your breathing. Breathe a little bit, straighten up your spine as they flip the page. This is a photo of a time when you were at peace. Look at that photo. What do you see? What do you see in your face? What do you see in your energy, your posture, the location, the lighting, the details, maybe who you're with, what's around you? Go ahead and reflect. Allow your future self to tell you a little bit more about what this photo is. Time when you were at peace. And as you look at this photo, you actually feel what you're feeling in the photo. Like you can feel it right now. It's not just a photo, it's like an energetic pattern. It's a symbol that connects you to this moment right now. Feel this moment right now within your heart. It is there. Adjust your breathing as need be. So you allow yourself to feel whatever you need to feel here. Again, looking at the photo, becoming aware of the details. So real. You take like a photo of the photo within your own imagination, within your own memory. So real that you will remember what this image is. And you will remember it as it happens when it does. Between now and 6 months or maybe a year from now. And so in this moment, your future self speaking to you, and you listening and you speaking to your future self, they are going to close the photo album in the next little bit. So just take another look at the photos. You go back to the first one, a time when you were doing something you love. What was that photo? Just reflect on it real quick. A time when you are with someone you love, looking at that photo. And as you go through this, they take these photos out of the photo album and they hand them to you. So they hand you the first photo. Hold on to it, they say. Keep this with you. Keep it in your front pocket. A time when you're doing something you love. A time when you're with someone you love. The third photo, a time when you have accomplished something important to you. And the fourth photo, a time when you are at peace. And so in this moment, you and your future self just kind of sit there and you talk to each other for a bit. And I'm going to stop talking here because there's something that you two have to say to each other, something important, something you're going to say to them and something that they're going to say to you. Go ahead and just imagine the conversation here within your mind, within your heart. Try not to think about it, but there's something they want to say to you right now that will help bring you ease, help reassure you, help motivate you, help inspire you, help nurture your spirit. What do they say to you in this moment? And what do you wish to say to them? Go ahead and just speak to them here. And maybe you're like holding hands as you do. And allowing any emotions to arise right now, if there's any like sacred tears that are coming to the surface, and just imagine yourself, maybe you're just like really just like sitting close to yourself and you're just giving yourself a nice big hug, and your future self is just reassuring you and just saying to you, it's going to be okay. You are on your way. You are supported. You are loved. You're doing great. You can do this. We can do this. So just feeling this loving support from your future self. And even in this moment, just allowing yourself to really integrate that energy of your future self, that presence that they carry, and really just integrating it into your being right now. feeling their heart become your heart. And so beyond this meditation, allowing yourself to really just create this golden thread between yourself and that future version of yourself that will be there every single day. Every single day, at least once a day, you will think of the concept of a golden thread, and it will remind you of this entire meditation just like that. And everything will come back to you and you'll be like, ah, yes, I am supported and I'm excited. And so give that future version of yourself a nice big hug, and even just give yourself a hug in this moment. You can wrap your arms around yourself. Give yourself a nice big hug here. Take a few deep breaths here. We're going to get close to wrapping up this meditation. Nice big inhale. Big exhale, sigh if you want. A couple more of those. Inhale. Nice soft exhale as you wish. And gently release your hug if you wish. And so you thank your future self again. Maybe at this point, you're just kind of like looking off into the sunset or whatever the moon above you may be. And know that you can return back to the space at any time. And know that there are future photos. There are more photos in that album for you to see. And you can invite those in through dream time. You can invite those in through a future meditation. Maybe you'll even lead people through the same meditation. If you enjoyed it, this could be something that you could facilitate for someone else. Whatever the case may be, the images are in your heart. The photos that they gave you, you hold those over your heart, and they will be with you every single day as a reminder of the path you're on and how supported you are and beautiful you are. Your path is your path, and it is there for you, with you. And so you feel this love, you feel this confidence, you feel the shift from where we were when we started this meditation to where we are now. And you feel the alignment we've created between ourselves and that future version of ourselves that is in reality already right here, right now. With that said, we will gently prepare ourselves to conclude this meditation. And just before we do that, take a moment here to be able to reflect. How are you feeling right now? In 1 or 2 words, just reflect to yourself. How are you feeling right now? Beautiful. When you're ready, we will gently conclude this meditation. And you can do so by gently wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and return your awareness to the space around you, ready to walk that path before you. Beautiful. Take a few moments here. You guys can stretch it out a bit. That was awesome. We'll create some opportunity here just to be able to talk about this, and then we'll conclude the circle for today. So for those of you in the YouTube comments, please feel free to leave your feedback, how you guys are feeling, anything that you guys might want to share. Obviously, it's very personal. You're not expected to be able to share, but if anybody does want to be able to share, even if it's just in general, I'd love to just be able to have some feedback on how that meditation was for you. And yeah, we'll just chit chat for a bit, and then we'll get close to wrapping it up. So would anybody like to share anything that you just feel called to share, or any just general feedback? Please, by all means. How was that for you guys? That was a pretty good meditation, right? That was pretty cool. Cool concept. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And again, feel free to, if you guys are like leading future meditations, feel free to like use that concept. It just kind of came to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I like that idea. I like the idea of being able to like hold that image in our mind. And yeah, it was cool. I like it. So would anybody like to be able to share even just how you guys are feeling or anything of that nature? Luna? Yeah, go
I'll
for
share. I'm still coming out of it. I'm a little high. That was beautiful. Thank you, Brendon. That was an awesome meditation. Your meditations always take me like out. I've never done anything like this one, and I really like it. The photos, I saw them very clearly, and I saw myself in the pictures, like being there. The doing something that I loved was me singing on the stage, but I was like resisting what I was seeing, because it was like a big stage, and I was like, nah, you know, like bigger than I expected, not like, you know, but and I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna go with it, right? So I went with that one. And then you know what's funny, when you started the meditation and you were like, there's somebody on a bench, at first I saw a man. So maybe I was a man in another life, or that's my, like, I'm masked or something, mask femme, I don't know. You know. So yeah, so that's interesting. And the other ones I saw was, oh shoot, don't tell me I forgot. They'll come back to me, but
I'll just remind you. So first one, doing something you love. Second one, being with someone you love.
oh, being with somebody I love. So I saw two pictures. They were like on both sides of the album. One, I was with my niece and we were playing, and then the other one, I was getting married, but I don't know. That's not like, it could be married to myself, you know, like it could be like something like that. But yeah, it was like, it was just there. I felt just like very supported and loved and accepted, like for myself, for who I truly am, and truly just embodied in my own self. And like I didn't feel like crying, but tears was just coming out of my eyes. And what was the next one?
Next one was a time when you have accomplished something important to you.
Oh, that one. That, and then the peace one. Yeah. So the something important to me, what I saw was me in front of a building, and I was holding keys. Like it was a picture, right? I was holding keys, and I was like super happy and excited, and I felt like proud of myself. And then I thought, like, who's taking these pictures? Like, who took these pictures, you know? But what I saw was, so that was my business, like a brick and mortar business, right? Because I have an online business, but so it was a business, and in the back, it wasn't a place where it was my own land, like, and it was a beautiful, beautiful, like mountain views, and it was like, there was it was kind of like it was a huge piece of land, and there was all about kinds of different art pieces and things there. So like a community kind of thing that I already have envisioned before. So it was that, you know, and it was pink. So and then the peace one, when I was somewhere I felt at peace, I was on top of a mountaintop, I guess, and it was sunset, and the sky was purple and pink and orange and yellow and golden, and it was beautiful, and I was meditating, but it was someplace that I've never been. It looked like Grand Canyon, or I don't know, something along like that, like just rocks, like really pretty, but I've never been there, so I don't know. But yeah, that's what I saw, and I have those pictures in my pocket now, so thank you. Thank you for that.
That's beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, Luna, so much for sharing. And again, absolutely, if anybody else wants to quickly share what they saw, you're more than welcome to. And honestly, just speaking about what you saw will help you just kind of solidify the memory. And so I would make sure that you guys even just write it down, write down what you saw before you accidentally, because it's kind of like a dream, right? Where it kind of like will slip through your fingers if you wait too long. Shout out to Chris and Pinox in the chat. Apparently they've been painting a picture while they've been listening to tonight's event, and they're going to share it. So I'm excited to see what they painted there. I'll just share real quick on the things that I saw, and then who wants to go after me, we can pass it over to anybody else as well here. Pass over to Lauren. So first one, a time when you are doing something you love. It was very much more of this. It was more of me like creating and facilitating and holding space with community and using my gifts and my talents and really just like being like a conscious creator. I love doing it. I really do. And then the second one, a time when you are with someone you love. Now, that photo for me was, in my mind, it was like what I was talking about earlier. It was like that image of me like holding my son, and Lacey's taking the picture or something like that, and just being there with him and holding him, and it's so surreal to imagine and know that like that picture is going to be here sooner rather than later, right? Like you guys are going to see it and be like, that's the picture, like that's actually it, right? And then the third one, a time when you have accomplished something important to you. With that image, I saw kind of similar to Luna. I actually saw like a building, and it was, in this case, it's a house. It's like a new house. It's a house where me, Lacey, our son, and Lacey's son already. Lacey has another 7-year-old son, and all of us like living in a house together. Like right now, we're in a house. We love it. But we're looking for a new house. We've been talking about it for so long, and we're working towards it. We're just waiting for it to align. So that's what I saw, like us accomplishing that goal of aligning in the house. And we got a car. We got like a SUV. Like that's a big thing that we're accomplishing too. So the accomplishment is something where it's like wanting the best for my family. And then number 4, a time when you were at peace. Again, for me, kind of going back to the second one, it's just another variation, but it was like a picture of like kind of this cliche picture of me like asleep on a couch with my son on my chest. Kind of like that, like that image, or maybe on my bed or something. So very similar to the second image, but just kind of like particularly just like maybe like a few months later or something like that. So that's what I had to be able to share. So thank you guys for holding space for me to do so. Lauren, if you'd like to go next, go ahead, and then anybody else after that, and then we'll get close to wrapping it up.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. And it's so important to do these practices to really instill in our mind what we're looking to bring in. And it's exciting to see things that are surprising to us that we don't even realize we could be calling in. And future me was so badass. Like future me had her shit together. She knew what she was doing. She was like, this is where you're going, girl. You're resilient and you could do it. So like future me reassured to me that like, this is the path. And so the first page was also me singing on a stage. I was like screaming on a stage, like brutally, like I didn't look pretty. I was like, like on the stage, but I was having so much fun. I can like feel the vibration of that photo. It was just so deeply resonant. And like it trickled through my entire body, just seeing that photo and how happy I was to just be singing on a stage with a band, like a funky band, and like, I don't know, maybe some dive bar or some type of like just quirky place. And I've never done that really. So it was exciting to see. The second photo, a very good looking man was holding me up in his arms, and I was like doing like the dirty dancing thing, like we're just in like the water where I don't know. But future me was like, don't focus on this. You don't need this, but like this is beautiful. And I was like, okay. And the third photo was me at a book signing, like signing my book that I've been like birthing in my mind and in bits and pieces here and there, and like the title of it. And it was like, I was so excited to like share. And then the fourth one was, I was like just laying in a waterfall, and that same man was like kissing my cheek. I don't know who that man is, but he was very good looking. So we'll see what happens there. No, I'm not even focusing on a relationship, which is funny. I don't need one at all right now, but that's how it works sometimes. So we'll see.
Wow, that's awesome. Let me just check here. Lauren, I ran a quick search in the Akashic records, and is that it? Is that you? That's Lauren right there, I think, right? Like that's literally her. Who's that handsome man? That waterfall is like right off in the distance. You can tell. So anyways, for those of you on Spotify, I just pulled up the image from Dirty Dancing. So anyways, Lauren, thank you for sharing. Who would like to be able to go next? Alicia, Kyle, Kristen, if you're there, feel free, and then we'll finish it off for tonight. I'm glad everyone's having fun. So Alicia, did you want to go next? Go for it.
Oh my goddess, you're killing me tonight, Brendon. Thank you for the last, dude. Lauren, you look great in that photo. Your future looks amazing. Yeah, that was a really cool meditation. Thank you so much. It felt really good. Future me is also very badass. Oh my god, my eyes were so bright. And I was wearing these like badass like cargo pants. I looked like a gangster. I looked really cool. Yeah, what came through was so I saw myself on the beach wearing like a headset, like wearing a headset, like pumping up, like Flavor Flav style, like pumping up a group of women. So I don't know what we're doing. It looked super awesome. Yeah, I also saw me in the studio, like collaborating with other artists, like getting really like I was like super stoked about like what other people were doing, but like I also was like, yeah, there's like just this general feeling of like collaborating with other artists and like kind of like it was like a dark space, but it looked awesome. There was like a sense of excitement there, and that kind of tied in with like, yeah, just like it felt very much like a collaboration. It's weird with like picturing me with somebody who I love. All that I could see that kept coming up was like were two angels like bowing to each other basically. So like that image was just like that's the only image that was really coming in strong, and then when like spinning into like one light ball kind of. But it was really beautiful. It was like really beautiful imagery. I would love that man in the water though. That'd be sweet. I also saw myself on the stage, guys. I mean, we are going to be blowing up, ladies. I also saw myself on that stage. And it's so funny where you want to be like, no, that stage is too big. That's not me. But I see a crowd. Like I see a crowd, and again, like just kind of like being like a hype man, like ripping on the mic a bit and being a hype man with other artists, you know, and getting people excited. So like a lot of that kind of general feeling coming through. Oh, and yeah, it was so beautiful. Luna, thank you so much for what you said about, because I had tears come through and I didn't even hesitate, because you spoke about earlier about sacred tears and then putting them on your third eye, and I did that. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Because I did have these beautiful tears come through, and I took both of them and, you know, put them on, or, you know, anyways, thank you. But the tears came through when I pictured myself at peace. I was literally meditating on the water. Like I was meditating on the water, like a river kind of sense. And feeling my fingers almost like I was in a canoe, but there was no canoe, and feeling my fingers run through the water. It was so epic. My future is beautiful. I can't wait. Thank you for tonight.
Thank you as well, Alicia. Beautiful, awesome. Lauren, you should, you should do anything, but if you were to post that picture just with like barely one sentence of text or something like that, just be like manifesting, and then just like the photo from it's just like photo from the future, and that's it. And people would just be like, yeah, you and me too, woman. So that'd be dope, man. I'm sure like every woman's just like, I want that too, man. It's built into us, I'm sure. Man, I would love that. I would love to do that with Lacey. If she can lift me up, I'm sure she'd be able to pull it off. So one or the other, we'll take turns. So anyways, let's get close to wrapping this up here. Kyle and Kristen, if either of you want to be able to share a little bit about how that meditation was for you, please feel free, and then we'll be done for the night. So Kristen, do you want to go?
I just want to say thank you. I feel like my things are a bit personal, and
yeah,
I'm in a sensitive membrane, so I'm not going to share them, but I appreciate it.
Thank you as well, Kristen. Absolutely. So Kyle, is there anything you would like to share? Go for it.
Thanks, that was dope. The first one, I just saw like farming, like farming, some having chickens, and having a nice creative environment with making your own food, something like that. And the other one was with someone, right? So I was with my girl. She was in BC, and we're at this community trying to build, like, it was one of the, it's kind of all the same. And the accomplishment was like hosting my first like multi-person ice bath class, like out in the mountains. And at Peace 2 was up on a mountain, like in BC. And then my future self, like what it said at the end, is just like, make some moves, man. Like, just make some moves, don't stay stagnant, kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's it.
There you go. Great. Pack your bags. Let's go. Let's do it. We got work to do. So adventures to roll on into. So cool. Beautiful. All right. Thank you again, everyone, so much for being a part of today's Spiritual Seeker Support Circle here through Paradigm Shift Central. Again, this is just one of the many events that we do here. We've got Dream Circle discussions. We've got an open mic jam that we'll be talking and announcing for next week's broadcast. And lots of other stuff that you guys can be a part of as well. And let's just go around the circle one last time with closing gratitude, and then we will finish it off for tonight. And no expectations on this, but if anyone else would just add in any closing thoughts, closing gratitude, closing anything for the people listening, please by all means go ahead and do that. Would anybody else just like to be able to share? And then we'll be done for tonight. So, and feeling the gratitude all around. I think all of us have done an excellent job of sharing tonight, and I'm sure we're all ready to go hit the hay and stuff like that. So beautiful. Last call. Would anybody else like to be able to share? Even if you don't say it, your gratitude is still heard and felt. So beautiful. All right. So with that said, again, for everybody here, I'm inviting you guys to be able to check out the links in this video. First of all, for the links for the creators that are featured in this video, for Lauren and Luda's upcoming Playful Sensuality Masterclass this weekend that you guys can be able to check out and join. I know some of the people here are going to be there as well. And again, also for all the other awesome things that are going to help you connect to the Paradigm Shift Central community, our Discord server, the Patreon, where you can join as a member to take part in future upcoming events, plus you get to support what we're creating here. And again, also on Ibble, if you're in the US and you want to be able to join on Ibble and take part there. And again, with that document that you'll find the link for, you'll also find the link for the other creators on there, which include Luna, which include Lauren. Lauren's going to be getting started on there. And I'm sure there are going to be many more of us who are getting started on there as well. And again, that's another place for us to have some cool, conscious conversations for us as a community to be able to learn and grow together. So, other than that, we're ready to wrap it up. On behalf of myself and Lacey, who's probably asleep in the other room right now, we thank you guys so much for being here, for holding space, for sharing from your hearts, and for continuing to grow and learn and shift paradigms together. So with that said, we will conclude this broadcast. And I'll just invite everybody to be able to gently unmute their microphones. And we wish you guys all the best on your continued journey. You are supported. You are loved. Go ahead, make some noise. We love you guys. See you next week.
We love you. Thank you so much. Thank you,
everyone. We love you guys.
So soul nourishing.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Much love. See you in the future.
Bye. Ciao.